myself in the background. Hello and a slightly belated good evening. Welcome. You're joined by Rhys Saunders and Tyler Manning for this evening's broadcast of the BSR MX5 series. So without much further ado, I think we'll be diving straight into our qualifying. The has been circulating for about 5 minutes now. So I'll be heading on over and seeing how the grid's shaping up for this evening's action. But yeah, really looking forward to this one, Tyler.
Absolutely. Sorry for all the technical difficulties that we've been having and the slight delays. So, yeah, it's going to be very exciting. We're back here in Donington Park. Sorry. We were at Alton Park just last week, so I missed that, but I watched the stream, so it was pretty good action. But we're here in Donington Park, for the Grand Prix layout this time.
Yeah, really looking forward to this one. As I say, it's a Grand Prix layout, so you've got the Melbourne Loop, as they call it, and you've got the extra hairpin, and it's a faster chicane at the end of the lap. It's the foggy chicane, so very tight, very technical. It adds something over and above the national layout that we visited earlier this season. But we are now in the home stretch of the season. We're in the final third, for sure. We've got Silverstone National next week, which will be a good old-fashioned punch-up MX5 style. Very short track with plenty of drafting opportunities. And then last, but definitely not least, following British motorsport tradition, we'll be heading to Brands Hatch GP for the final round of the season. So really looking forward to it. Apologies, we were a touch late. As I say, as you can probably tell by the fact that I'm wearing a shirt, I've only just finished work. We'll be voting for Driver of the Week as well. So please do get in touch and think who your shout is for us just there. But we're just going to have a quick look at last week's Driver of the Week from Alton Park. And it was Tom Griffiths leading the way with 338 points, and then Ben Sharp, the series newcomer, second of the week on 322 points. And then it was Simon Smith on 296 points, ran out the podium, ran out the top scoring drivers. But yeah, Tom Griffiths kind of snuck under the radar. He was very quick in race one, winning the race there. Yeah, leading the way for points. But Ben Sharp, series veteran, returning for the first time this season, and straight away showing that he's not lost any of his competitive edge or speed with 322 points. And as we look to the overall standings, we've got Adam Delmont currently on 2,121 points. He's got a 60-point lead, or just over a 60-point lead, over Andy McEwen in P2. And then Tom Griffiths, last week's Driver of the Week, in P3, closing that gap up to the lead. It's now 3 cars within 100 points, just heading to our final 3 rounds. Now top 10 is finished off by Clibbons, Cooper, Neve, Sam J. Smith, and then you've got Adam McNally, Michael Seal, and Lars Fisher, and they're all pro drivers now in our top 10. They've managed to finally overtake the Pro-Ams, who have been doing so well so far this season. Anyway, speaking of Pro-Ams, Jamie Gulliford, currently P11 in the championship overall, but he is leading our Pro-Am category and looking very strong for doing that. Then we've got Kip Stevens, obviously long-time series veteran in P12, Luke Cooper 13th, and then Leon Jenkins P14. And we've seen how much support Leon Jenkins gets. He's now our AM leader. And it's Douglas Stewart, Craig McDonald, Fiona Siddons, Lee Holmes, Craig Schill, and Mark Oliver rounding out our top 20 there. As we head on down through the order, at a glance, it's Silkstone, Cullen, Fox, Schroer, and Glenn Humston. He's in 25th. Then it's Chris Dixon, Paul Cook, Colin Sansom, Fortulla, and Chris Warnock rounding out our top 30. And then the tail end of the order is Stimpson, Hatcher, Van Dalen, Ben Sharp only taking part in 1 round, and then Wayne Douglas, potentially the unluckiest man in BSR, followed by Simon Rubson and Lewis Benny. So, Tyler, that's the rundown quickly of last week's stats. Why don't we head on over to the action and see how the guys are getting on track here this week.
Going to be some awesome action now back here in Donington Park as for the Grand Prix layout. So we were here for the national layout last time. So the chicane was going to the right on the national, but now we're turning left to have a bit of more extra kilometers to our for our rest of the lap. So it's gonna be a little longer, but it should be still quick with these little Mazdas out here. And we are seeing some great times so far as Jason Cooper is currently leading ahead for his potential pole this evening. He's just ahead of Lawrence Fisher, which is his teammate. They're just coming out of the pits just right now. And as you can see, Ben Sharp, returning to BSR last week, is currently in third.
Yeah, some very strong running here. We've got 20 qualifiers so far, although we've still got 7 other drivers registered to the session. At 21 qualifiers now. I think Colin Sampson's just put in that time just there. But yeah, it's Cooper, Fisher, Sharp at the front. Nathan Davies, who I'm pretty sure might be a season newcomer in the 000 machine, or he might have qualified last week. I think he qualified last week but didn't race. He's currently in P4, so a very strong showing from him. Hopefully we'll get to see him make his race debut this week and into the final 3 months of quali. Then it's James Neve, Luke Pullen, and then Andy McEwen in P7. He's second place in the championship. Now, Adam Delmont, he was involved in an incident at the start of race 4 last week at Alton Park. And I know it was talked about afterwards. There were some frustrations boiling on over potentially from his side. He's got a qualifying ban for race 1 this week. So he won't take any part in qualifying, and we can see him potentially sign as low as 22. So hopefully he'll be able to make up some ground and keep the championship fight, or at least show strong in his championship fight. But it's all spicy. We've got 2.5 minutes to go. Now it's a 1 minute 43 lap here, so you've got about 30 seconds or so to start your next lap. Otherwise, the lap that you're on is the lap you'll be done on.
Absolutely, you need to get it crucial because these lap times are not as quick as some faster cars like the GT3s that come around here in the British GT. So it's pretty important that you get your lap done quickly, or if you can get it just right at the last second, it would be very impressive. And then get it right into that top 10, which is very close indeed.
Yeah, obviously, normally I'm joined by Jack Oliphant, although he's been replaced this week by our super sub himself, Tyler Manning. And Jack quite often talks about that magic second. Now, obviously, it's a slightly longer lap here at Donington. That magic second is actually only up to P8, which is Tom Griffiths. So normally, I mean, we've seen at some points top 20 being covered by that second. So I feel potentially a little bit more spread out. Obviously, there is no shame at all by being, within a second of Jason Cooper. He is an incredibly fast driver. 6,100 I rating he's got. So, I mean, I wish I could stay within a second of him sometimes. That's for sure, Tyler. But yeah, so actually it's top 9 now. Sam Smith's improved up to P8.
Sam Smith going through very nicely, very tidy indeed, getting a bit of a grass touch. He has Ben Sharp behind him. And ahead of him is one of the Maniac Chuck cars? No, I don't believe so. But that's McNally. Thank you for the producers for telling me that's Graham Sisford. So it's very... you gotta be very tidy around here or else you're gonna lose momentum. Because of course, Mazdas are always about momentum, keeping that fast pace throughout the lap. Ain't they right, Reese?
And that's it. They've not got enough power to shove them down the straight at a rapid rate of knots, and they've not got an awful lot of grip to hold through the corners as well. So it's all about just carrying speed, not scrubbing too much off as we head here. And as we're about to head into the final 5 seconds of qualifying, that's it. So for these drivers that we're on board with now, this is their laps. So we'll see who manages to improve. Obviously, qualifying here in the BSR isn't the be-all and end-all. The reason being for that is we've got 4 races tonight, 4 15-minute races. For those of you that are new to the series, and we've got 3 reverse grid races here, race 2, 3 and 4, all successful by reverse grid. So we'll be heading over to the year 1 spinning wheel of fortune for that. As we see Sam Smith cross the line, can he improve? Doesn't look like he can as I look across to my timing screen, and doesn't look like Ben Sharp's improved behind. So it looks like Jason Cooper might very well be safe here with pole position. And funnily enough, it's our 1 and 2 numbered cars. Looks like they'll be 1 and 2 in qualifying. we'll see who manages to come around and improve on the lap so far. I'm just looking over at my timing screen, so it looks like maybe Luke Cooper and Craig Schill will improve potentially slightly on their laps, but it doesn't look like they'll be able to improve overall. Actually looks like those two 88 Tech cars are actually together on the track, so hopefully they're increasing their speed, but hopefully not getting in each other's way just there. We've got the 513 there leading the 582. But yeah, it looks like so, as we've got the full running order just in front of us, it's Humberstone here, ahead of the 582 of Schill. Looks like 23 cars have set a time, so Siddons, McDonald, Delmont and Stevens haven't set a time so far, so it looks like Adam Delmont's actually going to be starting P24 here for race 1. There's some long straights at Donington though, and some heavy braking zones, so he should hopefully be able to make some moves and recover some of his championship points. This will be an opportunity for the guys like Tom Griffiths, like Jason Cooper and like Andy McEwen to start to close that championship gap. As we can see, the 88 Tech cars get horribly in each other's way there.
Yeah, the championship is coming closely to the end. We only have 2 more rounds after this, so it's going to be very important that you don't make silly mistakes that have been happening to some of these drivers, like Andy McEwen and Delmont and Griffiths. They've been in some terrible accidents that have given their opponents, their competitors, an advantage overall later on, but they are pretty close to one another. 100 points separate them, so it's very close, as you will tell by the end of this evening, that we'll have a very impressive night.
Yeah, so we're just heading over to the grid right now, and it's tough to predict who will be winning all 4 races tonight. But Jason Cooper, with that mighty qualifying time, has staked a mighty claim. Hopefully now, I think our drivers, we've got about 1 minute 50 until we've got lights out for race 1. So Tyler, what are you hoping to see tonight?
I'm hoping to see some great action, as we always do in BSR, but hopefully not a lot of drama for a lot of the championship contenders that we're having up here in the top 10 and very close with the top 3. So
lovely. So I'll run through the grid just now for us. So pole position for race 1, Jason Cooper, followed by Lars Fischer, his teammate for 5-star in P2. And it's Penn Sharp in 3rd, with Adam Davies in P4. Row 3 is James Neve, followed by Luke Bullen. Then row 4 is Andy McEwen, with Sam J. Smith in 8th position. Tom Griffiths is in 9th. And then, as I look down, we've got Nick Clivens in P10, with Leon Jenkins, our AM leader, in P11, with Adam McNally in P12. And Leon Jenkins, always well represented in the YouTube chat. Liam Silkson, P13, with Jamie Gulliford, P14. Not where he'd hope to be our Pro-Am leader in the championship. Luke Cooper, P15, then it's Schill and Stewart, 16th and 17th. Sampson, Truett and Oliver rounding out our top 20. As we start to head on down through our order, we've got Humberston, P21, Benny, P22, Dixon, 23rd, and then Adam Delmont, our championship leader, in P24. Kip Stevens, P25, then it's McDonald and Siddons rounding out our field. And I've timed that just about right. We've got about 15 seconds to go, and in fact, here we are. So we have got the lights lighting up for the first time this evening at Donington Park Grand Prix. The engine notes rise, and for the first time tonight, the BSR MX5 series is away. You can see some of our cars are actually starting around the hairpin. One of our drivers has gone straight into the pit lane, actually. But it looks like it's a clean start for Jason Cooper, with Lars Fischer tucking in behind. Ben Sharp already having to go defensive from Nathan Davies into turn 1. These 2 drivers haven't entered too much entering into. It's Adam Delmont actually diving into the pits on lap 1. So we'll see what the story is behind that. But it looks like Jason Cooper has got away nice and clean, and he's got a little bit of a gap actually over Lars Fischer, who's got Ben Sharp for company, rather him than me. Nathan Davies in P4, and then it's James Neve running our top 5 here for Luke Bullen in 6th. And Nathan Davies, just to remind you all, if you'd forgotten, is our Pro-Am leader, and he's showing some great pace here as he's looking up the inside of Ben Sharp, who's looking around the outside of Lars Fischer. Andy McEwen's well known for saying there's not much room around the outside in cleans or coppice, and that goes to show he's got 2 wheels out on the grass, and that's let Nathan Davies up the inside into coppice, side by side for the last place on the podium so far. might even be a slowdown for Nathan Davies, actually. You've got to be careful on the inside there. It looks like, yeah, he's lifting away. So that's that Neve by. And it looks like Cullen's going to try and get by the inside into the Foggy S's. Oh, not a lot of room there. He's on the grass, and he might even end up the inside of James Neve there. We don't want to see any more Year 1 cars colliding. We saw that enough at Monza. And that's kind of bunched back the end of our top 10. And that's let our front three get away. So it's Cooper, Fisher, and Shah. I'm getting reminiscence here of the European Grand Prix with Senna in the wet in '93. What a first lap from Cooper there. He's led away. He's not really been under attack from Fisher. We'll be hoping to break away and use his teammate as a rear gunner here. But Ben Sharp is our wild card in the field tonight, as he was last week. He'll be looking to make some moves, Tyler.
Yes, he's definitely getting the wild card stamp right on his car, and he's been really fast throughout these last few races that he's participated in, returning to the championship. So everything that he's been doing so far lately has definitely not been champ contender, because he's not had the participation for the points, but he is here to win races and potentially do well for next season if he comes on back. You can definitely see how close he is getting on the back of Fisher, on the backhand of Jason Cooper. It is just giving that sort of peekaboo statement of, hello, I'm still here, I can race with all of you guys, and I can probably win.
One thing we can't see on the broadcast, Tyler, is the fact that there is a massive slipstream effect happening here. So effectively, Jason Cooper's got a lovely thick tow rope hanging out the back of his MX5, and the guys behind him are just holding on and being pulled along down the back straight there. He's got Nathan Davis in his Fanta livery MX5. He's a little bit behind our top 4, but he's managed to hold on to 5th, which again is still a lead. He got 2 wide there through the Foggy S's. Andy McEwen, our championship challenger, he's known for being sensible. He's known for not taking too many risks. But 2 wide through the Foggy S's there for him. This isn't something he'll be looking forward to do, but he's got Tom Griffiths behind him. He's P3 in the championship, and he doesn't want to be letting any more points go. Adam Delmont currently running P26 tonight so far. He's having a miserable time so far in race 1, as we predicted, with the penalty that he had from last week, and it doesn't look like he's driving very quickly either. So it looks like Adam Delmont might be I don't know, it might be a silent protest from him here. We saw the incident last week. I'm not sure quite what he might be protesting. I'm not sure if he's had a slowdown at some point. But yeah, so Adam Delmont, he'll be struggling to score points, and that's something that Tom Griffiths and Andy McEwen, as they're side by side right now, actually, they've just swapped places. So Griffiths has got ahead of McEwen for P7. Looks like that was down into T1 at Redgate. Yeah, these guys have both got a fantastic opportunity to kind of steal a march on Adam Delmont, and they'll be hoping for a small number on the reverse grid as well. But at the front of the field, Tyler, it looks like we've had a change.
That is absolutely right. Ben Sharp is moving up to 2nd place, and he still has the pace to move up to 1st. So it is very much pressure from the 5-star boys to try and get away from him, but it's not happening. Ben Sharp is moving up and up. He's on the back of Jason Cooper, and it is super... My goodness, he is absolutely on the bumper of that 5-star car. So it is an amazing job by Ben Sharp to get up into 2nd to pass Lawrence Fisher. But now that has given the opportunity to Neves and Davis and Pullen and all these other cars behind for an opportunity to get himself up into the podium or even for a win.
Indeed, and this might bunch our field back together. There's one man I wouldn't want behind me tonight, and that is Ben Sharp. He's got everything to gain and nothing to lose. However, if there was a man in the field that's got the pace to hold him off, it'd be Jason Cooper. This is a battle between our Goliaths. In fact, Jason Cooper there sets the fastest lap of the race last time by a 1:43.689. Looks like still Tom Griffiths keeping Andy McEwen at arm's bay. That is 6 tenths behind them. So our top 10 are all starting to stretch out ever so slightly. But as we look down through our field, they're very well supported as always. Leon Jenkins, he's in P11. He's still winning at AM category. And you know what? He's still on an absolute march. Next place to AM behind him. You've got to go all the way back to P20 in the Ennio Fungus liveried car. I'm sure that's a moment of pride for you. Tyler in P20, with Fiona Siddons just behind him in P21. So Leon Jenkins absolutely romping away from the field right now, and he's doing a very, very strong job of that. It's all to play for in Pro. I'm keeping production on their toes with my jumps between drivers, but we've got Nathan Davies currently in P5, which only got an 0.8 of a second gap between himself and Luke Pullen. He's in a bit of a year one sandwich right now, and Luke Pullen, again, another very well supported driver. We weren't wanting to see Nathan Davies get by James Neal, but that might be something that happens right now. They're all over each other as they're heading on down into the Melbourne Loop.
Definitely a lot closer, and he was trying to take this Pro-Am driver out of the pretty much way. Oh, that's pretty close. I don't mean out of the way like bumping and driving, but he's trying to get away from him because he's not in his class currently, so he's not fighting for the Pro class win. He's currently fighting for the Pro-Am win, so it's very close. Oh my goodness, they are almost, you can't even put a piece of paper between these two, as they're pretty much nose to tail for this entire run right now, and that lets away the top three. So it is super close between these two. It's only a 2/10 as you see down in the bottom of the screen, as you see Pullen helping out his teammate for year one. So it's definitely a lot of pushing and banging going around here in the back of the top three.
And I'm sure production might correct me if I'm wrong here, and I can't remember which driver it was. It might have been James Neve, or it might be Michael Seal actually, but in the BSR TCR series, when we were first here for earlier in the season at round 1, and we actually saw the year 1 cars employing some bump drafting in the TCR. It'll be interesting to see if we get that happen tonight in the MX5. We saw how disastrously that went for them at Monza. You can hear a bit of pain. As actually it looks like Nathan Davies runs wide in the foggy S's. That gives him a slowdown, and that changes everything up in Pro-Am, because that lets by Luke Pullen, lets by Tom Griffiths, and lets by Andy McEwen as well, as Griffiths gets up the inside of Pullen. Oh, too wide for that. Very skillfully done. So hard to see where the other driver is in a hairpin. Hopefully they've got multiple screens or some VR. But it looks like Pullen's got the inside as, oh, big sender on the outside from Tom Griffiths. And there we are. And you've got McNally sending it on Davies behind as well. So all change here. I think this is the best battle in the field right now. As we've got Andy McEwen defending hard from McNally, not wanting to give an inch to the Excite chap just there.
You're uber close right there. I can't even find other words to describe how close they are racing one another. And this is for the pretty much the top 5 right here in this little pack. So it is, oh, bit of contact right there between McNally and Davis. So, oh, even spin
and Davis goes round.
Ooh.
Davis goes round in the old hairpin at the bottom of the hill there. It looks like it was quite an opportunistic move. We've got the replay coming up just here. In fact, we're on board with Jamie Gulliford. That's not the driver we want to be seeing. This is it, Nathan Davies. So he loses the rear on the way in, sends it on the inside, and then he bump doors. But the car's unweighted, it's unloaded, and round it goes just there. And as he rejoins back onto the track, is it hopefully a safe rejoin just there? I think it is, but that drops him all the way back down to P15. But absolute disaster. Actually, it's a strong showing in the first half of this race. A bit of a disaster there as we've got 5 minutes to go. It looks like Pullen's now coming under grief, coming under attack from his teammate Andy McEwen. Obviously, Pullen looks like he's got the crown win in the bag here. We'll be wanting to finish as high as he can for overall points. As it looks like McEwen now on the inside of Griffiths. Griffiths braving out around the outside there, and he'll get a great run off the corner. Who's up the inside? That's Sam Smith up the inside. Hard to keep track of who's where here, Tyler. But now some fantastic action. As always, promised and delivered by our MX5s.
They were free wide through that hairpin. It is absolutely crazy how they managed to survive that action. It is, wow. And they're still together in this nice little train. As you can see, going back up to the front of the field, you see Jason Cooper pulling away slightly. It's a little nibble by nibble, just pulling away from Ben Sharp, and that gives his teammate Lawrence Fisher an opportunity to regain second from this amazing opportunity.
Yep,
Lars
Lars
Fischer
is
is
right on the back
oh,
of Ben Sharp here for P2 and P3. And actually, Lars, last time by, at the fastest lap of our race, just edging out Jason Cooper. Now, you do get a bonus point for fastest lap of the race. Actually, as we talk about our championship protagonists, I've just noticed Adam Delmont's dropped back down to P26. He already had made it up to P24, but it looks like he might even be in the pits. He's dropping back, Rick, rapidly here. But yeah, Ben Sharp in P2, Lars Fischer P3, almost having a look up in the inside of the foggy S's. Looks like Ben Sharp ran slightly deep. Now let's Lars get the over-under. It's got the inside for the Melbourne loop. Tyler, talk us through it.
Yeah, Ben Sharp absolutely going very wide, as you can see there. He did that in the chicane. That gave Lawrence Fischer an opportunity, but there's a switchback opportunity for Ben Sharp, trying to get the momentum to try and cut off Lawrence Fischer. But oh my goodness, he just keeps the opportunity, and Lars Fischer keeps second place with that opportunity he got over in the chicane by mistake by Ben Sharp. And look at the train in the background as they try and gain an opportunity. They're fighting one another, so the top three is probably secure for these last 2 laps of the race. But there's a great send down there for Tom Griffiths ahead of James Neve. And there's more action in the background, as you can see, between Smith and McEwen. So that is some racing on the back of Tom Griffiths here. Great camera angles that we're getting from these Mazdas, aren't we, there, Reese?
It's great looking back here from Tom Griffiths at the tail end or the mid part of our top 5. I can see how much time between Fischer and Sharp are battling as well. No one knows where to look here. You can see the power of that draft effect as Neve's catching up on the back, but he's too wide. Sam Smith had a look up the inside. And interesting for the championship, so Griffiths has made it up to P4, but McEwen's been shuffled back to P7. So a couple of cars between them, and that will help Griffiths out in his championship fight right there. Obviously, Adam Delmont won't be scoring in this round at least. Nathan Davies as well, he's currently in a battle with Jamie Gulliford and Leon Jenkins on the edge of our top 10. So action up and down through our field, as it looks like James Neve's still just about holding off Sam J. Smith. Obviously, Sam Smith being in a bit of a sandwich between the year 1 cars, as Andy McEwen now sends it up the inside. You can see that MX5 wiggling away. He's up the inside. He's not quite clear at the apex. He gets the runaway. Will James Neve pull across to give Andy the draft? Looks like he does. A bit of formation flying here from year 1. Andy always super grateful for his year 1 teammates. Have you got the Excite Carlo? Gets the inside into the Goddard's S. And you've got Adam McNally now attacking the back of Andy McEwen. So it's team warfare here. It's Excite versus year 1 versus Excite versus year 1 versus Excite versus year 1. It's literally, they're even numbers. 6 cars together, 3 of each. It's a tag team battle. On the subject of tag team, Jason Cooper is sprinted away. He's got away from Lars Fischer, and that's left it to be a 2-horse race for P2. As we're here on a final lap of the race, Tyler, who's going to finish where? We're not sure. Hopefully they keep it in. They've got 4.5 seconds back to Tom Griffiths. So, providing we don't get any dramas, our podium is set. But what order they're going to be in, who knows?
It is still undetermined for second place, but first place is absolutely secure for Jason Cooper right now if he does not make any mistakes. But Ben Sharp is battling with Lawrence Fischer, so it's going to be very close to the end right there. Oh my goodness, it will be very much a nail-biter to the line.
Looks that way indeed. So it looks like Tom Griffiths got a small gap over James Neve as head down to the foggy S's. But you see Ben Sharp getting out of shape. He's full send through there. Lars Fischer in P3. Not getting the run. He might do a send into Melbourne hairpin, but not quite close enough. Andy McEwen looks like he's just got past Sam Smith in the foggy S's there. So he's up to P6 now. And in fact, it looks like Sam Smith might have made a mistake. In fact, Andy McEwen looks like he's made a mistake. He's down to P8. It's all kicked off in the Melbourne hairpin. But we're not going to look back. We're going to look forward. Jason Cooper, he's got the 1 on his car. He's got the 1 on pole position. And he's got the 1 in race 1. Jason Cooper wins the first race of the evening. Ben Sharp holds off Lars Fischer. Tom Griffiths fights through to P4 from P8 on the grid, but James Neve rounding out 5th place. Then it's Sam J. Smith in P6. And as we look across the order just there, McNally 7th, McEwen 8th, and then it's Pullen in P9, Cooper 10th. We've got McDonald P11, and then just as I look, we've got the order moving around. I'm going to leave it there because we're going to wait and see who finishes exactly where in the order. We're going to wait for some official results. That being said, we've got Luke Pullen P9. So he's won our Pro-Am, it looks. But before we get official results, for the first time this evening, and making a return after the slightly improvised attempt between myself and Jack Oliphant last week, we've got the Team Year 1 spinning wheel of fortune. And here we are. So we've got some numbers. So smallest number appears to be a 9. We've got a full grid potential here as well. So 27 cars have entered tonight. So that will be very spicy. But production, take it away. Here we go. That wheel spins. I can't keep it. Can't keep following it. But what number will we get? Is it going to be a 9? Is it going to be 11? Is it going to be a 12? Not quite. Oh, it's going to be a full grid. Full grid. Oh, that is not what Jason Cooper, our race winner, wanted to see. We've had a few full grids so far. The confetti goes off. The confetti's celebrating. Jason Cooper won't be celebrating. I think, looking at my timing screens, I think I've got an idea of who might be on pole. But hopefully in a minute or two, we'll be getting our full results to run through. And we'll see who that is. But Tyler, what a race one. These MX5s deliver week in, week out racing, Sam. It is very, very rare that we have an MX5 race where we go, it was a bit dull. And yeah, they deliver every single time.
Yeah, that was some great racing from the whole field. We couldn't even cover all of it because how much action there was throughout the whole grid. So it's going to be some very exciting for race 2 since we have a full first grid. But race 1 was very much a BSR classic of action-packed Mazdas. So we're very thankful for all the drivers for not, I guess, killing each other there.
Race 4 at Alton Park still lives fresh in the memory for some. The only person that profited from race 4 at Alton Park was the guy that sells the Master Spare car parts, I think, because that was a bruising encounter. When we get the results on through, that will confirm pole position. But yeah, a full reverse grid. And if race 1 was exciting enough when they'd qualified on pure qualifying pace, why don't we switch that all up? You know, we'll put the fast guys at the back. We'll put the guys with a little less pace at the front. Unfortunately, it looks like Adam Delmont, I don't think was classified. I think he finished a few laps down, so he won't qualify for the reverse grid. So the night just gets compounded with pain on top of pain for him. And hopefully we'll get some live results. But here we are. So we're at the podium. Jason Cooper, he can spray some virtual champagne. He can't drink it yet, though, because he's got to drive the car for the next 3 races. He wins race 1 with Ben Sharp second, edging out Lars Fischer in P3 for 5-star racing. And as we tick on over to the full results, it's Tom Griffiths in P4, James Neve in 5th. And then we've got Sam Smith P6, McNally P7, McEwen P8, Luke Pullen, P9, winning our Pro-Am category as well. You can see that by the little blue tab next to his name. And then it's Luke Cooper in P10. As we head over to page 2, our early leader in our Pro-Am class was Nathan Davies. Unfortunately, with a bit of contact, he finished P11. McDonald 12th, Clibbons 13th, and then Kip Stevens 14th. All night at the office for Jamie Gulliford so far. We've usually seen him finish a little bit higher up. He's P15, still our Pro-Am points leader though, with Craig Shield P16 and Leon Jenkins in 17th. Julian Schroer is in P18, and then it's Douglas Stewart and Colin Sampson ran out our top 20. Leon Jenkins, I know he's well supported, and I'll get lynched if I don't mention it. He wins our AM category with Colin Sampson finishing P2 in class just there. As we head over to the final page of our results, I confirm that Fiona Siddons 21st, Mark Oliver P22, Lewis Benny P23, with Chris Dixon P24, and then our pole position sitter, the Pro-Am Glenn Humberstone in P25. Unfortunately, not qualifying for the reverse grid was Adam Delmont, who finished 3 laps down, with Liam Silkston in P27, and that'll be where he starts in race 2. So that's it. So that is race 1 in the books. We'll all be loading into the session for race 2. We'll be taking a short break just there as well. I've just had a whisper in my ear, and I'm pretty sure, unless I'm imagining things, and I do imagine him sometimes. Usually, oh, I was mishearing. It was me. I heard Dan Blake mentioned, and I was expecting to see him pop up in some fancy dress. If you know, you know. But yeah, so that is race 1 in the books. Glenn Humstone starting out on pole for race 2. Tyler, do you have any bold predictions? Have you got a crystal ball that you'd like to stroke to see where we'll be in session 2?
I don't have a crystal ball next to me, but I do believe that we're going to have a bit of a chaotic race if everybody don't have any patience, which I've been talking about throughout this whole season when I come on here. So it's patience, patience for all the pro drivers, and be careful for all the AM drivers who are up at the front for race 2. So, hey, crossing my fingers.
Hopefully nobody trips over everybody. So we'll be taking a short break. I'll be getting out of my work shirt, that is for sure, because it's far too warm to be broadcasting wearing that this evening. And we'll see you back for race 2. So grab yourself a cuppa. If you're in the UK, it's still pretty warm, so grab yourself a glass of water. And we'll see you in a few minutes' time for race 2 here in the BSR. And here we are. So welcome back. Here we are for race 2, a very, very short break between sessions. I've got change quicker than Clark Kent in a phone booth. Here we are. So the session's loaded up. There's about 5.5 minutes to go, so hopefully we'll have a chance to look at some live championship standings and some driver stats as well. Although I appreciate, for the sake of production, we've managed to draft in our graphics production extraordinaire in first some commentary. So we might not get the usual speed and figure behind graphics.
I don't think you will get it. I have to entertain over here, there, Reese.
There we are. So, you know what? He's coping without you, Tyler. Only just so, from what I can tell. But Jason Cooper in P1 so far in the Driver of the Week stats. Ben Sharp second and Lars Fisher first. Not surprising that the Drivers of the Week so far are 1, 2, 3 of race 1. But it'll be interesting to see how that develops over the course of the night. I'm going to kind of preempt or pre-warn, should I say, production right now and say that hopefully we can have a look at some live championship standings. And in fact, they're not live. They're the championship standings from before race 1, so they've not been updated just yet. Still not. He's refreshed the tab, but they're not updated just yet. Now, it'll be interesting. We might potentially have, and I'm not sure how the point structure works here in BSR, but very potentially, because of the scores from race 1, and the fact that Adam Delmont obviously finished in P26, McEwen in, I believe, was it P7 or P8 in the end, and Tom Griffiths in P4, we might potentially have a new championship leader. And if we don't have a new championship leader, it will be very, very, very tight at the top. So it's all to play for as we're heading into crunch time. We've got 3 very different tracks lined up. We've got the fast-flowing nature of Donington Park, where there's plenty of runoff if you do make a mistake. We've then got the punch bowl that is Silverstone National coming up. And I think that's probably the round that I'd be looking forward to the most as a driver. It's short. You've got a couple of drafting opportunities. The fast run down to Cops. Hopefully we won't see a repeat of Hamilton versus Verstappen. I wear a bright orange Verstappen shirt. You've not seen me in a Hamilton shirt on stream, so you know where my loyalties lie with that one, Tyler. And as well, you've then got the run down the Wellington straight into Brooklands. So plenty of opportunity there. So really looking forward to Silverstone next week. And then you've got the classic of Brands Hatch. That's a bit more technical than Donington Park tonight. And there's a lot less runoff as well. And again, those 4 races there might very well be vital. We've got just under 2 minutes left of the practice session, I can see. Glenn Humberstone obviously leading the way, the pack away. But all eyes will surely be on the likes of Cooper and Delmont, who will be starting near the back of our pack into that full reverse grid. Obviously, Sharp and Fisher being up there as well. And it'll be interesting to see how guys like Lars, Ben, Jason, how they all get on, how they pick their way through. We've spoke to Andy McEwen a few times, and he's always talked about the patience and making sure that he scores regular points. It'll be interesting. We've got some really rapid drives at the back of the field, and it'll be interesting to see just how they progress through. Just there, Tyler.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a bit of a sort of like how LMP2 cars or LMP1 cars go through the GT field at Le Mans and trying to get around all these slower cars that we have in the M class. But they're not as slow as you might think. They're maybe a 1 second behind, but they're still quick. So trying to get past these cars that are defending and attacking one another for their own class win, or for their little reputation of themselves, or how quick they are. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this is on a rare occasion to see a full reverse grid in BSR. So it's pretty much going to be like sharks and fish.
We saw some really good racing in race 1, but we didn't see really many drivers get kind of out of position in terms of, DNFs. I think the entire field bar 2 actually did finish. So despite the fact that it's a full reverse grid, actually it's not that jumbled up. So there'll be a lot of patience just there required. As we head into the grid, though, we've got a minute to go. So hopefully I'll be able to take you through our full running order just now. I'm just waiting for my timing screen to click over, and I'm sure production's just waiting on the same. So as we're waiting and waiting and waiting, just waiting to it load, and here we are. So loading on in. In fact, Tyler, why don't you take us through the running order? You've got 50 seconds, so make it nice and fast. We've got the grid loading on up.
So we got...
It appears to have broke ever so slightly. So I'll take it away just to be safe. We've got Glenn Humberston in P1, Dixon P2, Benny third, and then it's Oliver and Siddons running out our top 5. Then it's Sampson, Stewart, Schroer, Jenkins, and Schill, 5th through to 10th. Jamie Gulliford, P11, Stevens 12th, Clibbens 13th, McDonald 14th, Davies 15th, and it's Luke Cooper, Luke Pullen, 16th, 17th, McEwen, McNally, and Smith, P20, and then 21, 22, 23, Neve, Griffiths, and Fisher, with Shaw, Cooper, Delmont, and Silverstone rounding out our field right here. I've just about got away with that time because engine notes are rising. We've got some lights up on screen. Here we are, race 2, BSR series. Away we go. Donington Park, let's go. Engine notes rise. It looks like a clean start away. We've got the traditional MX5 puff of smoke. Ooh. Oh, we've got a car already off and around into the inside wall. That's a very early. It's a 596 car there. We'll wait to see who that is as a driver just Glenn Humpstone getting away. It looks like it's oil down because they all seem to run fairly wide in Redgate Corner. Maybe simulating rain coming. They've probably seen the Formula E from the weekend. Looks like there's an Ennio Fungus car off there. We've had a change for the lead as well as we get to the front. That's a different ATI. Oh, as he's riding through the grass as well. And then, oh, you know what? It's hard to call without the standings. Oh, you've got a spinner. He's off to the inside of the old hairpin. I used to make that mistake all the time in the old Tokyo. Don't beat yourself up about it. It looks like, as we're heading around, I don't want to call who that is. I can't recognise the car. Glenn Humpstone in P2 just there. Wait, why have I not the standings?
That's Lewis Penny up at the front.
I'm discreet. It looks like is that Nathan Davies all the way up into P4 already.
Oh,
it's about to be, it's Glenn Humberstone goes. Oh no!
Even more.
Is that all on the track? Has someone been out there spraying Mr. Cheese? And it looks like this little Molly car is all the way off at the front. I'm still waiting on my life standings to kick on in. And then you got the Ennio Fungus car. I think that might be Colin Sampson or Fiona Siddons in two. And it's Excite year 1. Oh, what's happened? Who's been putting the slip and slide out? It looks like Colin Sampson there in P2. You can make that name out just on the side of the car just there. And yeah, he's got the Excite car just behind him. But oh, what eventfulness we've had. It doesn't look like it was a case of cars getting run over. It's just like someone had put ice down on the track here.
Yeah, somebody decided that the weather decided that it wanted to change from winter already, so it's completely like all the cars are slipping and sliding, so a lot of people are trying to push on these cold tires. Oh, Nick Clibbens on Sampson right there. Hasn't done it just yet, but it is super close at the front right here, but everybody is trying to get themselves orientated with all this action on the first lap, so everybody's a bit out of place for where their current pace is, but everybody is currently... Look at that train there, Reese. Oh, I just love seeing them come down that hill and up here. It is just incredible to see those lines of Mazdas. Oh, they haven't done just yet. With the 5 stars in the background and Clibbens and McEwen. Oh my goodness.
I've driven this track in real life and you don't quite get prepared for how steep the hills are here. I'm going to do a quick run through other order though, as we're into lap 2. Just to let you know what's going on, because we've had some big movers. So Lewis Benny, he's starting near the front and he's currently leading the way in AM and leading the way through the race so far. Strong performance from him. But he's then got a gaggle of pros behind him. Nick Clibbens P2. In fact, Nick Clibbens in the lead. He's just overtaken Lewis Benny on my timing screen. And then he's got Andy McEwen going up the inside into the Melbourne Loop. Maybe I won't run through the order because the order will probably change by the time I've made it on through. But Andy McEwen, who, remember, he finished about 8 in race 1. He's already up to 2nd on lap 2 with a full reverse grid here. So really topsy-turvy. And it looks like Andy McEwen might be making a very strong claim for the race victory. You've then got Sam J. Smith in P3. Luke Benny now resigning P4. He's got James Neve on his door, heading on down to Redgate and to Holyrood just there. You've then got Colin Sampson defending from Tom Griffiths for P6 and P7. And then it's the 2 5-star cars of Cooper and Fisher. Although it looks like Fisher's just been overtaken by Sharp. Not for the first time tonight, Sharp and Fisher together on track. Craig Schilt, P11, and leading the way in Pro-Am. Although he's got Luke Pullen with Potts on his heels there for P12. And it's Nathan Davies, P13, with Douglas Stewart 14th. Siddons 15th, Schroer 16th. And it's McDonald 17th, Stevens 18th, and then Dixon and Oliver ran out our top 20. It does appear like we've still got 23 cars still running. McNally, Humberstone, a pole sitter in P22, and Delmont ran out of field here in P23. As it looks like we've got McEwen up the inside into Coppice, potentially for the lead. Now, he's in a bit of an Excite sandwich right here. And we know the Excite guys, they're very good at communicating. We've seen that, obviously, on their Facebook live streams. Please don't click away from it ourselves. It's Simtech Excite. I think it's a combination team just there. Simtech Racing, sponsored by Excite. I apologise. I'm probably breaching about 12 different sponsorship agreements right there. But he's got McEwen all over him with Sam Smith in third. So McEwen in the sandwich. And these guys, I'll be hoping to break away from the likes of Neve, Griffiths and Cooper, because we've got a very, very quick field here at the front. Wow, 3 laps in the books already here, Tyler. Blink and you'll miss it, as always, in BSR MX5s.
Yeah, they're definitely communicating with each other, doing Clibbins and Smith, so that is a sort of, can we get away from Andy McEwen? As you can see, oh, that is Ben Sharp, unfortunately, has lost and is in the pit, so he has had some trouble with some sort of contact, but as you can see up at the front, McEwen is under attack by Jason Smith, and he will trying to get the inside corner for the next type of run here we have with Jason, with Sam Smith, so you get a lot of rear running going on, a bit of like a Top Gun, and you see with the military police where they have a bit of a wingman right there, and McEwen's wingman is James Neve just in the background. He's trying to catch up to Jason Smith, so everybody is doing a lot of things. Sorry, Sam Smith. So everybody is moving around, trying to get in each other's way, and some are trying to get into better position for the final lap, because that giraffe on this long straight here in Donington is super powerful, and Sam Smith looked for an opportunity there, but it didn't happen just right. But everybody's moving up around, and you see Tom Griffiths is looking for an opportunity ahead of James Neve, and he's got the move done, and the move done up at the front is Andy McEwen. He's trying to move ahead, and there's a bit of contact right there.
Oh,
very close. Oh.
Rubin is racing as they head down into Garage. It looks like Andy McEwen's having a bit of connection difficulty as well, because he's blinking in and out. Nick Clibbins, he had to brave it around the outside. He had to use his elbows. He had to use his doors on the way down to the Goddard's corner. And they're now running down to Redgate again. Andy McEwen blinking in and out. That's a sign of a poor connection on the iRacing service here. It's not quite like real life. Unfortunately, we're not all out on the racetrack together. Probably a bit cheaper this way, but we do rely on internet connections to do that. We're on board with Jason Cooper, who's had a stellar race so far. He's in P6, hunting down James Neve there. And remember, this chap started P25 on the reverse grid. He's currently 6th. He's got 5 laps to go, and he's got 5 cars in front of him, or inside of him, it almost looks like there. It's just a quirk of the camera. As you see, Griffiths going through on Smith up the inside into McLean's. Very, very tense. But this is it. This is our chase cam as we head up into Coppice. It's so easy to get an off track, and then 1X here on the entrance, as well as a slowdown. That will just ruin your momentum. That will ruin your race just there. But no telling who's going to win this race. I mean, you've got Cooper with pace at the back of this pack. You've got Clibbins with track position. And then you've got all sorts of different championship permutations. Obviously, we've got McEwen and Griffiths. Obviously, we saw them racing wheel to wheel in race 1. They're very much 2 of our championship contenders. As it looks like McEwen, again, he's trying that out. He's trying the outside this time in the Melbourne hairpin. Doesn't look like he's got it, but that will give him the inside as he gets to run off the corner. He might have it as we're on board now with Andy. He's up the inside into Goddard's. Is he clear? Not quite on the apex, but he'll get the run off. And it looks like he's got clear, so he'll keep that door firmly shut on the run down to Redgate. Tom Griffiths tucks him behind in P3. He'll be looking up the inside of Nick Clibbins as we head down into turn 1. They all head over towards that pit lane exit. It's a good job we've not got pit stops, because that is a nightmare to come out of. And it looks like Andy McEwen is defending the inside, and Clibbins has got the run around the outside as they get through Hollywood. He's getting bump draft from Tom Griffiths as they head down the iconic crane of curves. really you'd want to be riding a jet fighter through there. It looks like Clibben's actually got back up the outside. And is he going to go all the way around the old hairpin? What a move from Nick Clibbens there. And in fact, that gives Tom Griffiths a run through to P2. Andy McEwen, he might be in danger of getting freight trained here. I say it looks like he might even lose out to Tom Griffiths for P2. Smith's still in fourth, but he's got Jason Cooper right with him as well. As it looks like Smith's gone wide, and that will let Cooper through into P4. James Nevy's got nowhere to go. It looks like Andy McEwen trying the crossover on Tom Griffiths. Championship potential 1 and 2. We've not had the live points, but side by side down the back straight, past the Motor Museum, towards the Foggy S's, and you can see Clibben's managing the draft between them. He's just hoping to break away and secure his first win of the season. I've not checked the stats for that, so if I get corrected by production, I will in a mo. As it looks like McEwen is trying to go just down the inside. Oh, not quite. He's tried this before and it didn't quite work. Oh, and he gets a tag from behind from Sam Smith. Sam Smith tags him. It looks like a bit of damage to the right front there. Sam Smith. And that lets Jason Cooper and Andy McEwen as well. Potential championship permutations. I'm going to have to take a break because, well, I think my voice is going hoarse. I'll leave you in the capable hands of Tyler Manning.
There is absolutely a battle between three teams right here. We have Jason Cooper in third, and we have the year ones trying to battle through the sim racing XI cars, so it's very close between all of them, and they're battling between the two teammates here with Griffiths and Clibbens, and it is that of so simple right there, and Clibbens will definitely protect his teammates between him and Jason Cooper, so he'll let Tom Griffiths get away and battle between the second place of the podium is really heating up, and Jason Cooper is looking for an opportunity to go down on the inside. He'll have the next corner. Oh, very wide from Clibbens. That is huge understeer by that. Oh, so much going on right now. There's potential for an absolute chaotic race and a huge crash later on if they keep it together right here. But they are super close one to another. Jason Cooper is really close. And we look back here to Colin Sensen, who is leading AM ahead of Lawrence Fisher. Did I get it right? Yes, I did. Lawrence Fisher, goddamn. Lawrence Fisher. Production team is yelling at me for all the mistakes I made with misspelling, but Lawrence Fisher is getting a bit of a slowdown right there, so he let everybody else by, and we have Poland leading Pro-Am ahead of Schill. That is Craig Schill in the 88 Tech car. So it is very close between all the cars and the classes, but not for the AM drivers. As you see, Benny in 13th place is not that close enough for a class win, and Carl Sanson will be super excited to keep this position. He'll likely give up this position that he has in 7th to his teammates Poland. So you can see a bit of coordination going on, but they're still side by side, so it's definitely really close between all the cars. Ooh, quite slow down there. Bit of braking.
As we hear production take a sharp intake of breath as the 2 Year 1 cars go door to door through the fastest part of the track. Looks like Luke Cullen, our Pram leader, trying to scramble away from the pack. You've got Colin Sampson, our AM leader, just behind him. You got Lars Fisher trying to fight his way on through. It's all getting tight back at the front as well. So it looks like 10th of a second between Cooper and Griffiths. As we head up to Coppice as well. Oh, look at that. So yeah, it looks like pulling through. Sanson's just let through Lars Fisher. And it looks like he's got Craig Schill next to the company. He's still got a good gap back to Lewis Benny, however. But yeah, all to play for at the front of the pack and at the head of each class. As we're about to come around and get our white flag fever about to set in here in race 2 at Donington Park.
They've been super close for these last few laps, and they've been nose to tail that it is super hard for one of them to make a mistake now, and they'll lose it all to whoever is behind them. So it is pretty much Griffiths ahead of Jason Cooper for not that long, because he is uber close to the back of that XI cart. So it is pretty much side by side now for the second and third corner. So it's becoming this battle between the 5 stars and X-Heights, and Jason Cooper did have a bit of a look on the inside, but he backed out. He'll look for the opportunity later in this race for the final lap. It is becoming really close. Oh, I can't even look. I'm looking away.
Look through your fingers, Tyler, because here, this is vintage MX5 action. Griffiths is a man that's got real-life experience in MX5, so he's got Jason Cooper behind him, who is potentially the quickest driver in our field. He's got the highest I rating for sure. There's Nick Clibbans in P3. He was one-time leader of this race. Then you got Andy McEwen in P4, the Cheshire Cat himself, with Sam Smith, who's already given him a nudge so far. So plenty of stories being written right now, and they are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. You can throw a cloth over them, they're so close. Looks like they've had a clean front through the foggy S's. It's a fast run now down to the Melbourne hairpin. Griffiths goes defensive early. Cooper goes to the outside. Oh, Griffiths makes the apex. There's no contact there. Well, that let Clibbans have a run on through. Looks like no change there behind them. Looks like Neves actually got past Sam J. Smith. It looks like we're going to have no change. Cooper not quite close enough. Griffiths will be holding on here. And it looks like as we come out the final corner for the final time here in race 2, Tom Griffiths wins. Cooper second. Clibbans third. A tenth of a second the gap between our top two there. It's McEwen fourth, Neve fifth, and then Sam J. Smith in P6. Lars Fisher eventually comes home in P7. But Colin Sampson for Ennio Fungus Racing in P8 with Luke Pullen behind him in P9, winning for Pro-Am as well. Then Schill 10th, McDonald 11th, and Stevens 12th. We'll have the full running order for you in just a moment. But that is race 2 in the books, as we've got our drivers all coming on through. Again, no real progress made. And Delmont finishing 2 laps down in P22. So it's a disaster of the night for our championship leader at the start team. I can't see him being the leader now that Tom Griffiths has won race 2. So he again won't be eligible for any reverse grid runs here in race 2. Ben Sharp, we saw him have some contact early on. He finished 6 laps down off the lead. And then you got a few DNFs, including obviously fan favourite Leon Jenkins, P24, Gulliford, Cooper, and Silkston also DNFing as well. It was like there was ice out on track here. But we are over to the spinning wheel of fortune, brought to you by Year One TV. We had full reverse grid last time. Take it away, production. Let's find out where we're at here for race 3 of the already halfway through our races. As the wheel starts to slow down, smallest number 9, biggest number a reverse grid. Could we have a 9? Could it be an 11? It looks like it's going to be P11. Ooh, there's a bit of momentum on that wheel. It's been freshly greased, I believe, with the tears of commentators who have delivered curses. But no, it looks like P11. Again, I'm having a look across at my timing screen. I think I've got an idea who that might be, but I'll wait for some results before I put too firm a jinx on that. But no, Tyler, spellbinding action as always. I liked your use of aircraft puns here. Obviously, East Midlands Airport being just the other side of the catch fence at Donington Park. Not seen a plane on camera yet tonight, but certainly some flying drivers at the front of our field.
Absolutely. There's been a lot of wingman action to help one another for these last few rounds, so it's very close in the points that we saw in this evening at the beginning of the broadcast. So it's very close how these teammates will be playing it out. They'll be trying to help out with their team's championship with the points there in the constructors, but also helping out those who are at the very top of the standings for the drivers. So it's going to be very much of a sort of Top Gun-esque with the wingman and all those sorts.
We've not seen Top Gun 2. That's a question we've been asked from production. And no, but we've got Mavericks, we've got Icemen out there. I think Tyler has seen Top Gun, actually.
Yeah, it was really good.
But no, it'll be interesting to see. We're 2 dogfights down. We've got Act 3 and 4 to go here. I'm really looking forward to it. Hopefully we're going to get some race results in just a moment. Again, heaping the pressure on production right now. And hopefully as well, we can, if the standings do get updated, we will see exactly some live championship points as well at some point this evening too. Because again, I think it has been all change at the top. I think Delmont with 2 poor results from race 1 and 2. He's going to have his work cut out. If he wants to leave Donington Park top dog, he's going to have some difficulties. Yeah, Tom Griffiths winning race 2. He's surely going to be putting his stake in at the top of the pile.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's going to be a lot of bit of a doggone battle between the top 3 with Tom Griffiths getting that extra win under his belt. So that'll definitely pull him away from the rest of his competitors.
And here we are. So we've got the full championship results for, full race results for race 2. And again, spraying the virtual champagne is Tom Griffiths. He won for XR Esports. Jason Cooper, a race 1 winner, makes it all the way back to P2 here in race 2. Then Nick Clibbons, one of many podiums of the season for him in P3. As we head over to the full results now, it confirms Griffiths, Cooper and Clibbons top 3. Andy McEwen just missing out on the podium in P4 with James Neve running out the top 5 for Team Year 1. Sam J. Smith leading the way for the Simtech drivers in P6. Sorry, Nick Clibbons was P3. What am I talking about? Lars Fisher, however, P7. And then Colin Sampson, our AM winner in P8. With Luke Pullen, our Pro-Am winner in P9. They're together on track, separate in classes. And then we got Craig Schill in P10. As we roll over to page 2, however, Craig McDonald, P11, and also pole position for race 3 at the halfway point of our evening. Kip Stevens, long-time series veteran, just missing out on that reverse grid. He'll be starting race 3 in P12. Julian Shrew at P13, Lewis Benny 14th, Mark Oliver in P15th. Sunny off-boil evening for Adam McNally. I'm definitely going to get some stick for that later. Douglas Stewart in P17, Fiona Siddons 18th, and then it's Glenn Humberston P19 and Chris Dixon rounding out our top 20. As we get to our final page of the race, it's Nathan Davies P21. We saw him have a few little issues here and there. I mean, he's last classified finisher on the lead lap. Adam Delmont P22, nightmare of a night for him. With Ben Sharp in 23rd, we saw him pull off the road in the final corner. It looks like there might have been some contact there. Jamie Culliford P24, Leon Jenkins P25. Sad times for him. I thought the YouTube chat had gone quiet. With Luke Cooper in P26, and then rounding out our field, Liam Silkston in P27. So we are at the halfway point of the evening. We've just seen Jason Cooper drive from P25 to P2 so far tonight in race 2. He's going to have an easier time of it. He'll be starting P10 in race 3. Tyler, do you expect to see him cut through the field like a hot knife through butter?
If he puts in great performance, he'll definitely be getting up there with the pace he's been showing out for the whole season and today's evening race. So we shall see in race 3.
I'll be continuing on the fighter jet imagery because it seems like we have definitely swallowed whole the Top Gun mantra. It does appear like Jason Cooper is flying a Messerschmitt against the older Spitfires that the rest of the field seem to be driving, because he's been cutting through the field so well right now. It's hard to bet against him for race 3. We'll be heading over to a small break in a moment's time or so, just giving production a bit of pre-warning for that one. But whilst we're loading that break on up, please, if you've not already, feel free to like and subscribe to the broadcast. Get in touch. Let us know where you're watching from. Let us know who you're supporting as well. As much as I enjoy talking to you, Tyler, it's great to see you all interact with us here on the stream. We know how well supported Pullen and as well Jenkins are. But let us know who else you're supporting in chat. Hopefully there'll be no more Mario Kart low grip situations just there. Craig McDonald's got a pit lane start for race 3, so he says. So that'll change up our pole position. I'm not sure how admin are going to get around that. He's just put in the YouTube chat, actually. I see. Get involved. That lets us know bits that we don't necessarily know. Craig McDonald pit lane start. So does that mean necessarily that will that promote P10 to pole? Will that let Kip Stevens start from pole? I'm not sure. And we'll find out. We'll see how they line up, and we'll go from there. Yeah, shame to see Craig McDonald relegated out of that pole position. He put himself in the right spot, but he runs on out. But stay tuned. Be there or be square. We'll be back in a few minutes' time for race 3. And here we are. Welcome back to race 3 of the evening here at Donington Park Grand Prix here for the BSR MX5 series. I'm joined by the ever affable Tyler Manning, the super sub himself. You know what? He responded in record time when Jack Oliphant said he was still on holiday today. Tyler Manning, it took him all of about 30 seconds to be like, "Yep, I'll do it." So really quick time. I think it was middle of the night for him in Canada as well. But here we are. So it's race 3. We've got just over 2 minutes to go. And we've had a great night of action so far. Thank you very much for everybody in chat as well that's been getting involved. OMQ Courtney, always shouting on. Leon Jenkins. I have been told off between races for getting names wrong. I'll be carrying that tradition on all night. Cheers ears shouting on Luke Cullen as well. And then you got Craig McDonald, obviously racing, but he's in and out the YouTube chat in between as well. We got Connor saying about the banana pails that seem to be out on track. Yeah, come on, Luke Jenkins. I'm not going to live that one down anytime soon. But yeah, Connor saying, and someone dropping banana peels and saying it was Mario Kart from OMQ Courtney. It looks like, yeah, there was no grip out there on the cold tyres for race 2. We've got a minute to go so far. So, Tyler, why don't you take us through the driver of the week?
So, not surprisingly, that he's continuing his performance here this evening is Jason Cooper with 194 points. That is quite a grab of a hold right there for his championship run. But just behind him is Tom Griffiths on 184. So he continues to push his championship opportunities later down on the evening. And Loris Fisher right there Loris Fisher just behind and third. So it's been quite a great championship for 5-star racing. So it's incredible what happened last week. And we see the Pro-Am right here in front of us. Luke Cullen is in first last week with 140. And then we see McDonald and Shilly just behind in the AA Tech team. And here we have the M class what happened last week. We have Samson, Benny, and Oliver, all with some great points to their named for what happened there in Alton Park.
Lovely. So that's the live results actually for Donington. As we're about to head over to the grid for race 3 here, I can actually see Ben Sharp. I'm getting my names all over the shop. Apologies. And it's Lars Fisher. Believe it or not, between races, all Tyler did was sit there in Discord and say Lars Fisher all over again. You know what? I keep getting Luke's and Leon's mixed on as well. But Ben Sharp having some computer issues, so he's turned off and on. I don't know if he'll be trying again for race 3. But here's a quick run through of the order. Now I've got 35 seconds. Hopefully everyone doesn't grid up dead quick. We've got Craig McDonald in first, but we know he's going to be pit lane starting. So that promote Craig Schill to pole, Luke Pullen third, Sampson fourth, Fisher fifth, Sam J. Smith sixth, Neve seventh, McEwen eighth, Clibbens ninth, Cooper 10th, then Tom Griffiths P11, with Stevens 12th, Shrewer 13th, Benny 14th, Oliver 15th, McNally 16th, 17th place for Douglas Shirt, Fiona Siddons P18, and Glenn Humberstone in P19, with Dixon P20. We've got some engine notes rising, but it's Davies, Delmont, Gulliford, Jenkins, and Silkston rounding out our field. We've got some still engine notes rising. We've got some lights. It was a long hold. But here we are, race 3 in the BSR MX5 series underway. 25 drivers take the green flag, and it looks like a clean getaway for Craig Schill from pole. Luke Pullen in P2. Darby fancies himself to try and get an early lead here. It looks like he's already got the inside line for Redgate corner, so might have a lead change straight away. Looks like Lars Fisher diving up the inside of Colin Sampson as well, and winner from race number 2. And it's all changing from Luke Pullen leading away from Lars Fisher down the corner curves. Craig Schill though hanging tough around the outside. Cold tyres, that's part of the track, hard to keep hold of it. It looks like the field's making it through nice and clean just there. Yeah, Fisher still P2 there on the end. Oh, he's spun. He's collected Craig Schill as well. He's collected pulses.
Oh!
Both cars hard into the inside wall. We've got an Ennio Fungus car from the back there. I think that might be Fiona Siddons back there. Apologies if I've got that one wrong. But we've had an absolute nightmare. It looks like Colin Sampson there holding up the car of James Neve on the outside. And that's the 27th through at the inside of Sam J. Smith. Luke Cooper's charging off it. Oh, as we've had contact.
Oh, no!
And, oh, that's Colin Sampson, James Neve. Oh, we'll be waiting to see how the order is. It looks like McEwen was involved. McEwen is out the race there. Cooper also had contact on the front, but contact between Sam Smith and Colin Sampson taking out a few of our title contenders. Everything's been shaken up here. Can't see how Tom Griffiths got on in all that as well. Whoa, Tyler, blink and you will miss it. This has been carnage from the off.
Absolutely. Luke Pullen has just been pulling away as he does with his last names. So he hasn't seen any of this stuff has been happening, so he'll get all that communication from his teammates. A lot more smoke action just in front. and you can see it is a lot of drama and chaos going around. So a lot of people are trying to find their place around here, and there's a lot more slower cars in the way of all the pro drivers and AM drivers, and they're all trying to mix up what's going on. But it's smooth sailing up here at the front for Pullen.
Smooth sailing for Pullen. Looks like Nick Clibbons, Sam Smith, embracing the full rallycross style on the exit of Redgate and Hollywood there. He's in P2, but he's got James Neve now for close company. And then the ever intimidating Jason Cooper in P4 with Nick Clibbons in 5th. Lewis Benny leading the way in AM so far in P6. But it's been such a jumbled up first lap there. It's been absolute carnage up and down the field. Some real title implications there as well. Looks like Tom Griffiths, he's managed to rally back up to P12. Got Andy McEwen in P14, so still not a disaster. And they've still got Adam Delmont, who's all the way back in P20. He's had a disaster of a night. If it wasn't for the fact of his championship lead, being back down in the field, it's been an absolute nightmare for him. It looks like Pullen's actually had a slowdown potentially. He's dropped all the way back down to P5, so let's let James Neve hit the front. In fact, Pullen's dropped very slowly. Not sure what his issue is just there. Is he back up to speed now? Potentially, and that's not going to affect him in terms of Pro-Am standings, as it sounds like there's more contact. I think there's an engine gone there somewhere in the field. And that might be Liam Silkston. Or is it Lewis Benny I see dropping down the order there? So he's blown his motor down in the foggy S. And yet that cuts, and so he was leading our AM category. Now that promotes Leon, Luke, Pullen, Jenkins, or whoever I'm calling them now. Now that promotes Leon Jenkins into P10, overall on track and also leading the way in AM. As we're looking at the front, it's now Neve away from Cooper. Cooper setting the fastest lap of the race so far. That's about 2 seconds slower than we've seen in our races today. So we think that will be tumbling down in terms of lap time. Sam Smith third and Nick Clibbons fourth. Luke Pullen still P5, but he's 4.5 seconds back, so he had a nightmare that lap. Tom Griffiths, he's recovered to P10, and Andy McEwen's just snuck by Leon Jenkins for P11. So there's still so much to play for here, as we've got 10 minutes to go here of race 3, Tyler.
An absolute disaster for Pullen, but an absolutely great send by Jason Cooper for the race lead ahead of James Neve. But he's still got Sam Smith behind, and he'll get the opportunity for another look. And he'll try and pull his teammate Nick Clibbons ahead of the Year 1 driver. So it is an absolutely dream for Jason Cooper. Look how much of momentum and how much of the pace gap he has to the rest of the drivers. He goes through the chicane, looks so smooth and nice. But you look back there, is a bit of clumsy move for a lot of the other drivers behind him, with James Neve and Sam Smith right there, and you see Nick Clibbons looking for an opportunity. He's got the move done right here. He'll get the exit out, but James Neve will have the inside line if he still gets side by side with the number 13, number 7. Oh, he just goes right behind him. He thinks better of it, but he's got a lot more time to get past the sim racing driver, so it's going to be quite exciting to see how this holds out for the last podium spots. As you see behind Davis in the number 000 car, you can just continue the numbers of zeros. It just goes across the entire windscreen and won't be able to see, so he'll stick with the triple digits. Nathan Davis is currently leading Pro-Am, so it is in a great day for him in that nicely white and red car. And as you can see behind there, that is Tom Griffiths, yes? Delmont right here in the back. He is currently, if I can try and find him, he's in 19th place, so it hasn't been great for him this evening. He's been in quite a lot of the crashes that you've been seeing on the broadcast lately, so it's been very unfortunate. He'll try and forget all these past races. My goodness,
on the subject of our championship contenders, so Adam Delmont was leading the way as we entered the evening, but we've actually got the fight for P9. If we can scoot on across to a production, we've just had Griffiths and McEwen trade places I can see on my timing screen, and they are right together. So they were caught up in the early carnage, caught up in the early instant. I don't know if either of them have got any damage, but they're going side by side now into the Melbourne hairpin. So this is probably P1 and 2 in the championship. Not quite sure which way because we've not got any live championship points tonight. But we're pretty certain they are P1 and P2. Like Jason Cooper will be breathing down on them. Obviously in a strong and dominant position that he's in. Obviously a race win and a second so far, and it looks like an easy win for him so far. He's got 9 tenths over Sam J. Smith. But it looks like Griffiths and McEwen are two title protagonists scrapping away in the midfield, and nobody else really wants to get involved, I don't think. But it looks like, yeah, so 5 laps to go as we cross the line there. And Griffiths having the advantage over McEwen, as he's had all night, but McEwen has been just super consistent. He's been like a shadow of Tom Griffiths, although Tom Griffiths does appear to have had the speed edge. Q Courtney in the YouTube chat, I can see, shouting on Jenkins, saying huge impact, incredible as expected. But Leon Jenkins fans do hold him to an incredibly high standard. I'm glad they're not my fans because I'd be constantly disappointed. But Julian Schreier running wide, and that actually lets the man of the hour for Leon Jenkins up to P12, so he's still leading the AM category. He's got Jamie Gulliford, the pro driver, next in his sights. On the subject of prowess, Leon Jenkins there, doing a bit of Tokyo drift through McLean's. We've got Davis and McNally side by side. Now Davis in the 000 machine, 000000 as it's been called. He's currently leading the AM categories. It looks like, who was that? Was that Jamie Gulliford getting a slowdown on the inside of Coppice? Year One TV production getting involved in the chat as well, saying Jenkins for pro. I mean, you can probably make an argument for pro-am. I'm not sure if he's quite pro level yet. Well, I will get probably hunted down by the fans. Was that a knock at the... No, it wasn't a knock at the door. But no, looking forward to seeing how the battle will shape out up and down the field as Kit Stevens now having a look at Leon Jenkins.
It is really close around the field. As you can see, there's a bunch of little packs here and there, and they have their own little battle going on. Here, as we can see on screen, and Jenkins nicely holding off Sevens behind in the Swift car. That's a very lovely design with that bit of a neon green. It's gonna keep going on there. As we can see, a bit of nice and cool calm after all these few laps of craziness and chaotic racing we have been having throughout this last few races in the broadcast. So it's nice to have a bit of a calm note for a race like this for the rest of the field to have.
It's a reprieve for us broadcasters at least. Hopefully they'll remember that it is BSR MX5s and they'll get spicy. I say as they get spicy, Kip Stevens never afraid of the send, and he kind of scares Leon Jenkins almost off the road there. But if I had Kip Stevens launching up my inside, I'd probably jump out of the way too. We've seen people actually physically break bones with Kip going up the inside. Virtual racing can become real at times. Gulliford, P12 though, he's recovered from his slowdown. He's now at the inside of Stevens. It's a great fight. This is probably the closest fight in the field. Although that being said, you've still got Griffiths all over the back of Silkstone, who's got Andy McEwen all over the back of him as well. It looks like Griffiths has gone up the inside with McEwen. Oh, we've had all sorts of... Oh, no! Is that Andy McEwen? That's Andy McEwen pointing the wrong way in the Melbourne hairpin. There's a wall there, Andy. Avoid that one. And oh, what happened there? Hopefully we'll be able to get a replay of that. I saw it happening. I saw it building on my timing screens just there. It looks like Griffiths, Silkstone and McEwen get together in the Melbourne hairpin. Potential contact as we're going to head on back. So we've got the replay screen up, but this looks like it's live. We dive back about 30 seconds or so, please, production. We'll see what happened to Andy McEwen, but he's dropped all the way back down to P15. Tom Griffiths P8. Now that will have championship point permutations. And it's that Adam Delmont contact up to he's P19, so again he's almost within range of Andy McEwen. But what a disaster there, Tyler. And say we talked about having a reprieve, we talked about having a moment to catch our breath, and MX5s teach us if anything you can do, you can't catch your breath because they will come back and bite you. Andy McEwen lost 10 seconds that lap.
Looking back, and I just can see 3 wide between McEwen Tom Griffiths and Liam Silkson, his teammate there, McEwen, and they just went free wide with one another. And when McEwen went down on the inside of the corner for the hairpin, he just got tagged by the OTV driver, and there was no place for him to move out of the way. It was very much a last-minute thing. It was very much a racing incident right there.
So once again, friendly fire taking out some Year 1 cars. Not for the first time. I'm hoping there's a plane in the background there. East Midlands Airport doing its thing. It's probably a DHL one. I used to live just down the road from here. And yeah, they seem to have a flight that went right over my house. It didn't matter where I moved to. There was always a flight over my house. So I think I've avoided air traffic control at some point. But yes, Annie McEwen tumbling all the way down to P15 after some friendly fire from a Year 1 teammate. It sounds like obviously Tyler Manning kind of looked back and pulled in the play for us on that one. I'm hoping by the end of the season, actually, a feature that might be able to unveil here at Year 1 TV is the head to the pit wall function. How iconic is it when you go and hear Christian Horner in the Formula 1, Toto Wolff, when they've had their drivers in incidents. I'm hoping Graham Sessler can keep it PG enough for us at some point. We can hear his thoughts mid-race if he's not too busy on the old cameras. We've kind of shied away from it. We've not looked at it. But we've got Jason. I've just had a firm, resounding no there. We'll keep talking about it, folks. We'll keep talking about it. Great in the YouTube chat if you want to see Graham Sessford chatting away about the fate of Year 1. But we've got Cooper. He's still got a 4/10 of a second lead over Sam J. Smith. We thought Cooper had got a lot of pace in his car, but he's not managed to break away. He's not managed to break that draft, that toe, that Gulfstream effect. He might have a bit of damage on the front, potentially, but he's keeping Sam Smith at bay even if he's not able to break away. We've then got 3.5 seconds back to Neve and Clibborn, who are going side by side through the Melbourne hairpin, just behind. So the battle for the last podium place. You can see they're side by side running down to Goddard's now. I've not had a track mark up tonight, so I've been very, very, very confident with my corner names. But if I'm wrong, again, correct me. Ben Sharp saying Graham Sessford is a very, very shy man. I've met him. He's not shy, regardless of whatever you might think. He's not the shyest individual at all. But yeah, Clibborn's currently holding on to the final podium position with Neve, and then McNally ran out of top 5. P6 is Nathan Davies, looking for his first Pro-Am win here in BSR, with Luke pulling in 7th as we're here on our final lap. And then to Griffiths, I'm going to call him our de facto championship leader, obviously with absolutely no standings at all to back that up. In P8 with Silkston and Gully for P9 and 10. Then it's Jenkins 11th, and then Stevens 11th with Jenkins leading Am in P12. And I get a whoop whoop in chat for Leon Jenkins. Then you got Julian Schroer 13th, Douglas Stewart 14th, and Andy McEwen in P15. But here we are, so we're riding on board. It's today. Can we get an onboard of Jason Cooper here for the final lap? And we can just see his inputs. Let's have a look at the steering wheel. Tyler, tell me what you notice on Jason Cooper's wheel. Is he rough? Is he smooth? What's his actions like?
Mazda like this is very important to be smooth. Oh, bit of correction here and there, but you can see how much of the deliberate slide that he has for that, and he can keep it holding onto there for that chicane, and it's very, very smooth looking. Look how much he just handles the car, goes on the throttle, nice and easy. A little bit of correction here and there, but it is smooth sailing for Jason Cooper as he gets another win here through the final corner. It'll be a bit of a confirmed race. It's a 2 out of 3 win here at Donington Park on the GP layout. Jason Cooper wins the race free in a 5-star car, so it is an impressive race evening for him. But Nick Clibbins will hold off James Nee for a 2 and 3 for a Sim Racing podium. And as you can see, quite close at the very back there, Davis will win Pro-Am, and Poland will be behind in 2nd, and Jenkins will come across just now for a Am win, so he has been Mr. Consistent in the Am class, so it is an impressive drive. That is Adam Delmont. Very unfortunate for him.
Looks like he's had another DNF, so absolutely no luck at all. We'll be heading back to the studio for the final time this evening, in between races at least. And we'll be spooling up. We'll be pre-turbo loading. Hopefully there'll be no turbo lag on the year one Wheel of Fortune. Mixed fortunes, however, for our title protagonist. And we have now got to call Jason Cooper a title protagonist. He was just off the back of the top three at the start of the evening, but 2 wins in a second has been strong for him as we've got that wheel now. So production, take it away. Here we go. Final time tonight. People have different fortunes, different hopes of where we'll be. And it looks like it'll be potentially the smallest number of the night. Number 9. Ooh, that's almost a steward's call on that one, but it is number 11. So again, a nice big spin on the wheel. Now that wheel frees Andy McEwen out of the reverse grid. So he'll be starting race 4 from P14. And I think that'll put Tom Griffiths in third. He did lose out to Liam Silverstone in the end. And obviously Jason Cooper, he would be fairly happy with that. Could have been a lot worse for him. I'm not sure who finished P11 in the race, but we'll have the full standings up for you in just a moment, folks. I can't believe already we're 3 races into this evening's action. And it looks like, still Jenkins getting all the plaudits, all the chat there in it. Jenkins is adored. I wish I had a fan club like Leon Jenkins. It's hero worship. He's up there with some of the greats. I mean, I'm thinking Churchill, I'm thinking Eisenhower. That is kind of like the reverence that Leon Jenkins gets. I'm not sure where he's going to start though for race number 4. So we'll get the full standings for that in a moment. Tyler, who's been your standout performer of the evening?
It's hard to pick. There's a lot of great drivers out there that has been doing very well early in this evening, so it's a bit of a hard pick to get out of that bowl of numbers. But I would give consistency to Leon Jenkins in the AM class, but I would probably give my pick to probably Adam McNally. He's been doing very well. He did very well in race 3, so it's very hard not to give him that bit of a thumbs up for him. So it's going to be very interesting to see if he can continue to get some great results this evening.
And here we are. So we have our standings. Jason Cooper is almost like the Stig with no photo. Maybe if he wins the championship again, obviously defending champion, we'll get a photo from him. But he's again, for the second time tonight, top step of the podium. And this time he's joined by Sam Smith and Nick Clibbens in P2 and P3. So a great showing from Syntec Racing just there. And we'll head over to the full results now. So again, confirmation, Cooper, Smith and Clibbens are top 3. James Neve, I think that might be his third top 5 of the evening. He's been very, very consistent. With Adam McNally finally coming through, coming strong, and he's recovered back to P5 there. A great insight there from Tyler of that. Nathan Davies, his first Pro-Am win in BSR, P6. Luke Pullen 7th. Liam Silverstone in P8th. And then Tom Griffiths, de facto leader, as we call him, in P9. Jamie Gulliford rounded out at top 10. As we come into the second half of our standings, confirmation, Kip Stevens, P11. Also our pole position sit at 4, race 4. It's the second time I've had 11 tonight, actually, on the spinning wheel. Leon Jenkins just missing out, unfortunately, in P12. Julian Schrewer at 13th. And then Andy McEwen, obviously having that contact, he's back down in P14. With Douglas Stewart at 15th, Sansom 16th, Siddon 17th, and Glenn Humston in 18th. And there are top lap finishers. As we head on now, so all these drivers were multiple laps down. We've got Delmont, McDonald, both DNFing. We then saw Lewis Benny blow his engine on lap 2. Fisher and Schill got together on lap 1. They both did manage to complete lap 1, but unfortunately that was all she wrote for them. And then Chris Dixon and Mark Oliver, again, DNFing as well. I think we saw both of those go off on the inside of the old hairpin as well. The old hairpin, fast off-camber corner, unsettling these MX5s, especially on cold tyres. I think the session is now launching for race 4 of the evening. Hopefully we won't be racing into the twilight. Hopefully we'll have some light here at Donington Park. But it is the twilight sequence of our broadcast. It will be the final race of the evening. Hopefully we'll also get in touch with a few drivers afterwards as well. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in so far, folks. Don't go anywhere. Make yourself a brew. I think I need some fluids, that's for sure, Tyler. And we'll see you shortly for race 4. And there we are. It is Schrodinger's 2 minutes for sure. And that is the fact that when the missus tells me I'll be 2 minutes to get ready, it feels like half an hour. But when production give me 2 minutes to go and get a drink and refresh myself, it seems to go in about 30 seconds. But welcome back. Here we are for race 4 of the evening here in the BSR MX5s. Now, I'm just loading on into the session. I made some Twilight-based puns before we went to the break, and it seems like they have rung true at least. I'm not sure if we're quite 2 minutes to midnight, but we are definitely in the darkest hour here at Donington Park. Headlights will be on show here for race 4. 11 car reverse grid. Can Jason Cooper make it 3 out of 4, or will we see a new winner this evening? I'm not sure. Obviously, Tom Griffiths, he'll be starting about P4 or P5. He'll be able to stake a strong claim. But if I know one thing, despite all the crystal balls in the world, Tyler, don't make predictions on BSR MX5s.
Absolutely not. You don't make predictions here when everything is absolutely chaotic when it comes to the racing, when you don't even know who's going to finish where. But there's definitely been a lot of consistent drivers who've been making that notion untrue. So it's becoming very much a who can weave himself through all the chaotic ocean that's been going on throughout this evening and throughout this championship. So it is the consistent drivers that are up on top of the championship standings for the drivers and constructors championship.
Indeed, navigating the way through the turbulence. We are really sending it quite hard on the aircraft-related ones tonight, guys. But yeah, navigating their way through the turbulence that is 4 races here in the MX5s. X-Man Addict is saying, can I join the league if I use a controller? He's got 3.5k rating, so I'm pretty safe. We're just a broadcast company, so I cannot give you permission. However, yeah, do it. Get involved. Get in touch with the admins, and they will absolutely be able to get you an invite. Obviously, 2 rounds of the championship left to go from tonight. But yeah, as long as you're a safe driver, the BSR are always looking for more competitors, not just on a Tuesday evening, but also on a Thursday night as well for the TCR League. And that'll be where we'll be off to then. It'll be myself and Dan Blake for that one. Obviously, we missed last week, so we'll have a bit of a catch-up there for Autumn Park 2. But then they'll be off to Donington Park for their 8th round of the season. And again, the same format. 4 races, 3 reverse grids, and only 1 driver of the week at the end of proceedings. But we are about a minute away before gridding up. So very quickly, Jason Cooper, no surprise at all. Top dog of the evening. 2 wins, 3 podiums so far. Griffiths in 2nd and then Smith in 3rd. Again, people who have seen taking strong finishes, multiple podiums. And you can see just the way they're accumulating points just here. And yeah, Tom Griffiths, he's got to be thinking, you know what, I don't know where Andy McEwen is right now, but he might very well be our championship leader for the night. I can't wait. Hopefully, we might even be able to get you some championship points on Thursday. Luke Pullen leading the way in AM for the evening with, that's definitely not Tom Griffiths in Pro-Am, sorry, but Julian Schroer in 3rd in Pro-Am. We'll forgive the graphics for that. Obviously, we've stolen Tyler away from him now. And then as we head into our AM category, it's Sansom, Siddons and Jenkins, 1, 2 and 3, 4 points. Saying that Jenkins has won 2 out of the 3 races so far. So again, not sure how accurate those points are. So maybe don't stand too much stud in it. I know how passionate the Jenkins stands get on this one. That being said, Tyler, we are about time to grid on up here for race 4. The finale of the evening. So if you've not already, hit like, hit subscribe, scream for Leon Jenkins, because we are about to go racing for the final time. As we head on across to the grid, we'll see just exactly what the atmospheric conditions are like. So it's dusky, it's dark. Headlights will be a feature, but depending on what you might have for your Sunday dinner, it doesn't matter too much if you've eaten more carrots than Bugs Bunny. But confirmation, Kip Stevens, pole position, Gulliford 2nd, Tom Griffiths, P3. He'll be fancying himself for a win from there. Silkston 4th, Pullen 5th, Davies in P6th, and then it's McNally, Neve, Clibbons and Smith round out our top 10. With Jason Cooper in P11, Leon Jenkins just missing out on the reverse grid pole, P12. With Julian Schroer in 13th, Andy McEwen, P14. He'll be hoping to gain some spots and save some face from there. Douglas Stewart, P15. Colin Sampson in 16th. Colin, not Colleen. Fiona Siddons in P17. And Glenn Humberston 18th with Adam Delmont. A rotten evening of racing for him, P19. With Craig McDonald 20th. Benny 21st. Fisher 22nd. Schill 23rd. And we've got lights. Engine notes are rising. And here we are. So it's lights out. And away we go for the final time this evening in BSR MX5s. A difference to start, so it looked like a bit of a slow getaway. Stevens there on the inside, as we looks like I think that's Pullen on his outside just there. Tom Griffiths had a good start from P3. It looks like Pullen trying to go around the outside. So oh no, they've centered and prosted and let off. So that's Stevens from his best start of the season so far. He'll be shuffled all the way down the field, and if I know Stevens, he'll probably take with a wry smile and a grin. It looks like Cullen's in the lead, and then Arderfield getting snaky on the way down. Davies getting sideways, holding onto it. We've got a spinner in the midfield. Everyone will be looking to avoid. No, they didn't avoid him. It looked like some T-bone action there. I was at Miller and Carter Saturday night, and my stake wasn't a T-bone like that. That is a ruined 88 tech car there, who unfortunately had nowhere to go through the old hairpin. And there's still door banging at the front. It's still Nathan Davies getting snaky. It looks like we've got an Excite car, Simtech Racing Excite car going around just there. Jason Cooper's had a clean start. He's got 6 and a lot of cars running on wide. Looks like those Mario Kart banana peels are in full force. Come on, guys, get the tyre temp in, get the grip up, and then get attacking. At the minute, it looks like they're all holding on for dear life. Jason Cooper, look who's there, though. 5 now he's running in. That man is relentless. If there's anyone who can do it from here, it'll be Jason Cooper. It looks like Davey's trying to get the inside of that 1TV car as we head on down into the Melbourne Loop for the first time here in race number 4, Tyler. Again, no idea where to look, as it looks like Cooper just having settled behind Liam Silverstone now.
Jason Cooper is doing an absolute great job of moving up through the field, as that has been what he's been doing tonight. He's been absolutely perfect of picking off all the drivers, and making all the mistakes, making all the chaos for other drivers, and he's just been smooth sailing as he's trying to pass the Year 1 driver of Jason Nee, but he's going to hold the position, and he goes very wide on that point right there. So it's going to be very interesting how he goes around right there. So it is very important for him to continue this run if he would like to get himself a 3rd win this evening.
Yeah, losing momentum, losing a little bit of track position there to James Neve. You've got Liam Silkston in P4 for 1TV there as well. We've got Chuckles from production. Where is Lawrence or Lars Fisher? Currently on the subject of wrong names. He's up to P11, so he's having a much better recovery in race 4 after his DNF in race 3. He's actually ahead of Andy McEwen, who's in P12. In fact, Lars Fisher's just got ahead of fan favourite Leon Jenkins, and so is Andy McEwen actually as well, so they've both got past Leon. He's in P12, but still leading our AM category as we look back down that back straight just there. Such a long back straight, you don't realise it when you're looking at the cars on board, but I walked down that back straight once. It is definitely a long enough straight indeed, especially on a hot day. As we can see it, heading down to the Melbourne Loop, is that Benny up the inside there of Ben Sharp up the inside, sorry, of Leon Jenkins there. So again, positions changing left, right, and centre here. Here we are, Ben Sharp. So he's recovering, he's back. I think he's got his technical issues fixed. He's back in P12 as well. So all to play for at the front. You've got Pullen holding off Griffiths, Davies, Neve, and Cooper, and they're all together. But if these guys fight too much, you've got some quick guys at the back of that top 10 as well. We're going to have a super pack as Griffiths goes through on Luke Cooper. As they come through Hollywood, yeah, he's got that one all cleared. And yeah, Griffiths is through, Pullen second, and then you've got Nathan Davies in P3 as we head on down into the old hairpin, Tyler.
And Tom Griffiths is definitely looking to have a bit of a smile on his face as he has some Pro-Am drivers. So he has the only one that is currently in contention for his own class is James Neve, and then he has Jason Cooper and Sam Smith behind. So it is going to be a bit of a pull away from Luke Pullen. So it's going to be very interesting to see how he does this, because there is pretty much a class battle between in the top 2 and 3. So we're going to see how this works out for Tom Griffiths, and it's definitely going to be very much a good shot for him to get himself a win here for the final time this night.
And don't forget, Tom Griffiths won race 2 as well, so he might go 2 from 4 to match Jason Cooper for the evening, so that'll be vital for him. James Neve currently got the fastest snap of the race with a 44.3. I'll be expecting to see the guys into the 43s though before the night is out. Yeah, it looks like Davies staying ahead of Neve for now at least. And all this fighting, all this battling, all this jostling, that's going to let Tom Griffiths get away if they're not careful. It almost looked like they're 3 wide behind. coming out of Goddard's. And yeah, it looks like McNally getting ahead of Smith with McDonald in there as well. Then you got Sharp and McEwen in behind these guys as well. So all to play for, all to fight for here as we're into the final 9 minutes of this evening's action.
Definitely a lot of battling going on, a little bit of shuffling around for everybody to get into place where they believe they deserve. Lots of class battles, lots of inter-team battles, or whatever you want to call it right now. As you can see right in front of you, we have the XI and the Year 1 cars. It's a lot of moving around here with Silson and Smith and McNally. So everybody's doing their job to get around. As you can see in the background, and McEwen trying to find a way past McDullen right in front in the 88 tech car, and he sees Silson is just dropping like a stone. He'll be pretty much down in 12. As you can
Must have had a slowdown now on the inside of Coppice. Andy McEwen, his connection's been blinking out all night. He'll blame the stormy weather that we've been having here this evening in the UK as his connection drops. So maybe we don't sit on board with Andy McEwen because his connection's not to be trusted there. But he's all over the back of Craig McDonald, and that's now for P8 after they've both benefited from Silkston's misfortune. He's got Fisher behind him in P10. Looks like Ben Sharp's had an instant though. He's all the way back down in P22. So maybe his technical issues haven't quite cleared up for him, unfortunately. Leon Jenkins still leading the way in AM, however. He's currently in 12 overall. But we've got to look all the way up to P2 and P3 for Cullen and Davies, who are our leaders in Pro-Am. And it looks like Ben Sharp is pulled off. I think he's got the same technical issues he had before that. And he'll be not so much kicking himself, but maybe kicking his computer screen for that one. And that promotes Adam Delmont up to P20. What a nightmare championship leader at the start of the evening has had. A bit of a hangover, I think, from his Autumn Park misdemeanors. Yeah, Tom Griffiths currently leading the way, but he has got a lion's den of combatants behind him, with Cullen, Davis, and then Cooper. I think Cooper might very well be the danger man here in this pack, just because his raw speed.
He's absolutely flying. He's like a bit of in a different kind of car. He's been. I hope he hasn't been changing the bit of the settings going around and giving himself a bit more boost for his engine, but he's been absolutely quick with his little Mazda in the 5 stars. You can see Tom Griffiths is leading ahead, so he has a bit of a work to do with 2 Pro-Am drivers ahead battling one another. So it's going to be pretty much whether or not he can get through these 2 ahead to fight with Tom Griffiths for the overall win.
It almost looks like Adam Delmont's trying to make a point there because he's just set the fastest lap of the race. As we've mentioned, his misdemeanors. So maybe he'll get a few bonus points for that. Fisher makes it past McDonald there behind, but he's off the track on the exit of Goddard's. And it looks like McEwen in P10 trying to get the inside. No change for the leader. Look at these guys. They're all on the white line pretty much. Not the racing line side of the track. McEwen's all the way over to the outside. It's 3 wide. They fan on out. We'll see who gets the undercut. Looks like McEwen's made it up the inside on the switch pack. They have the shorter run through Hollywood and down into the Craner curves here. They'll be on the outside now of Fisher through the fast left hand in the Craners. They'll have the inside for the old hairpin. He might struggle to get the run off there, especially with these momentum-based cars. You can see those rear disc brakes blowing here on the MX5. He's going to have to settle for 9 currently behind Lars Fisher. But you can just see how the momentum ebbs and flows between these MX5s as McDonald back up the inside into McLean's, showing that there's plenty of life back in him. And then you've got Silkstone getting to the bumper of Andy McEwen. Now obviously we saw the 2 Year 1 cars off camera have contact in the last race, and it compromised McEwen heavily. He won't be wanting Liam Stuxon get to his bumper again. It looks like Pullen's got ahead of Griffiths with Davies still in P3 at the front. So all changed at the front of our field as looks like McEwen. Oh, the inside of the foggy S's. Oh, you'll struggle to get too wide through there. But they've done it just about cleanly, as you've now got a fight for P3 between Davies and Cooper as well. Who knows where to look so far, as it's 2 by 2 by 2. Leon Jenkins sticking his nose in up the inside there. in the Melbourne Hairpin. Luke Pullen leading the way though from Tom Griffiths, with Nathan Davies in there as well. Oh, this is a very, very tight action at the front, and we'll see how this plays out in the draft. Oh, he shuts the door. It makes Cooper go to the outside, and then he's blocked off by Griffiths. It's 2x2. Noah's Ark here at Donington Park. As we're heading up through, we've got 3 laps to go here of the evening. 3 wide on the exit there. Wow, Tyler.
They're absolutely close there. Reese and Jason Cooper has managed to grab himself a bit of a place ahead of Davis's, but he's still going to be fighting for that podium position overall, so he's going to be looking for an opportunity to get past and try and fight with Pullen, who's taken the lead overall, and he is winning in his class, but he's got Tom Griffiths just behind. He is super close on the back of him. He's pretty much fighting like it's Tom and Jerry of cats right now, so it's going to be very much who has the bigger balls to get it around here. It is Tom Griffiths on the inside of the corner, but look out for Jason Cooper, who's got the drive. He's got the momentum. If he can find a way past these two, he'll have the race lead, but he hasn't found a way past, and Pullen will still lead through the chicane. He'll do a nicely job. He'll try and keep the momentum up ahead of Tom Griffiths, but he's gonna be absolutely fine, but he's gonna be under attack by Tom Griffiths and Jason Cooper, who's looking for an opportunity too wide through the space of the hairpin. Oh my goodness, is full of action-packed racing.
Yes, absolutely edgy seat stuff here in the BSR MX5s. It's all about who's got the testicular fortitude to come out on top here, who's got the bravery, who's playing it safe for championships, which you've got to think Griffiths and Cooper, that might be in the back of their mind. And obviously Pullen leading the way in Pro-Am, again, he'll be thinking about that as well. One person that won't be thinking about it is Davies, McNally. Neither of them are in overall championship contention, but they are definitely in contention for this race. And McNally's having a very quiet race here, but he's made it before. He's picking his way through. He's side by side for the lead there between Pullen and Griffiths again, through the crane of curves. And this is so fast, that compression through there is so brutal, it's so violent. You can see Pullen, he had the inside, but he kind of has to lift on the apex just to get the car turned on in. And you can see the run Jason Cooper's got. He's got to the outside of Griffiths. He's got to the outside of Pullen. Is he going to get 2 for 1 here as we head on up into McLean's? He might get run out of road there. But no, very fair from Luke Pullen. Not running Jason Griffiths out of road there. Pullen's got the inside though for Coppice. 2x2. Can we see Jason Cooper go all the way from P3 to P1 in the space of a couple of corners? Potentially so. Oh, we're going to get 3 wide. Not quite. Tom Griffiths now looking to the inside of Pullen as they're going down into the foggy S's. They're pushing, they're dooring, they're banging. It looks like Cooper's just about got clear, and we know he's a hard man to pass. We know he's got great speed, he's got great legs once he's got a clean bit of air in front of him. Griffiths needs to get this move done on Pullen if he's got any hope of staying with Jason Cooper here in the final race of the evening. Just taking on over. We're currently on 2 laps to go. As we hit the line in a moment, it'll be final lap. White flag fever in the air. Jason Cooper snatching the lead here with 2 laps to go.
Absolutely fantastic driving and fair racing between the two of them, Cooper and Pullen. As you can see, as you saw back there, they were side by side in fair racing, not pushing one another off the track. But you can see Tom Griffiths is looking for an opportunity down on the inside. He thinks better of it, but he'll have another opportunity on the rest of the line of a race to go through this track. So he will have another opportunity later on. But you see Pullen is closing on the back of Jason Cooper, so it's not over yet for the race lead, as you see a bit of a back marker in the background there up ahead. So it's going to be very close between these top 3, and I might expect a bit of carnage if they don't keep this clean throughout, but they definitely kept it clean last lap, so it's going to be very close on how they deal with the back marker, and the back marker is getting out of the way very nicely indeed. He's going on the grass right there. I think it was Ben Sharp, yes?
Yes, Ben Sharp getting out of the way there here on the final lap. But Jason Cooper leading the way from Luke Pullen. Less than 0.2 of a second between them as they head down the big draft zone here on the final lap. McNally jotting out to the inside as Pullen looks down the inside. He goes for it into the foggy S's. Will this work? Oh, they touch! Oh! They touch. They run wide. Griffiths gets loose, and Griffiths goes through to the lead. Pullen sent it, and that lets Griffiths on through. McNally sneaks through to P2. The quietest evening he's had so far. He's now holding off Jason Cooper to the outside. Nathan Davies, can he get his first overall podium? He's looking for P3. Will he jink to the inside here as I go into the final corner? Look at the gaggle of cars we've got here, all misbehaving on the way on in. Hopefully not too much contact. Davies is going to have a great run here at Jason Cooper. I think he might lose out just by a nose. Oh my God, though, Tom Griffiths sneaks victory through here on the final lap here at Donington Park in the final race of the evening. Tom Griffiths wins, McNally second, Cooper third. And one thing BSR MX5s do guarantee, my neighbours can definitely hear me commentating right now. But yeah, Tom Griffiths leads the way in the final race. So 2 wins for him to match the 2 wins for Jason Cooper. We'll see who gets top dog in the points for driver of the day in a moment's time. Big shout out though, Nathan Davies winning Pro-Am here in race 4. With Luke Pullen second in category there. And then Leon Jenkins, no surprise at all. He's currently P11 for the race, but that puts him P1 overall in AM as well. Andy McEwen brings it home P9, so a few places gained for him just there. But with Tom Griffiths winning, they surely got one hand on the championship as we're heading towards the final 2 rounds here from Silverstone and also Brands Hatch too. But they're heading on back. I think they're racing to the line as well. Is that Griffiths who's now... Is that McEwen who's made it on through to the lead now? I'm not sure, but yeah, they seem to be racing on back to the pit lane. It is definitely over, isn't it? Because there's no one's told these drivers. But no, we're back to the studio here for the final time this evening. Tyler, I'm going to need... Thankfully, it's a little bit cooler here in the UK today, because I'm going to need a sound night's sleep after that action.
It was some great action for the last lap for Tom Griffiths to sneak in for that final win for this evening. He'll get, and that was 2 for him, so it's pretty much 2 for 2 for Jason Cooper and Tom Griffiths. So it's great racing for both of them for their championship run for the final 2 rounds after this. So it's gonna be great. I'm trying to look back on how he was able to do it. It was pretty much Pullen who made that last late move on the chicane and pretty much made both of him and Jason Cooper get out of shape, and that was the window of opportunity for Tom Griffiths to sneak on through.
Yeah, Pullen, he got the run, he got the slipstream on Jason Cooper down the back straight into the far yeses, and he had every right to go for the inside. Unfortunately, it's a left-right sequence, it's high speed, there's not a lot of space in there. Without seeing onboards, as we've always said here at 1TV, we try not to judge racing incidents too harshly. There's a full panel of stewards here in BSR that do that job for us. But I say it was very, very close between them. And yeah, unfortunately, Pullen loses that. He crosses line P6 now with Cooper in third. And that let Griffiths and McNally through to take the top 2 steps on the podium. Thank you very much, Cheers, for saying we've done a great job tonight. We really appreciate it. We appreciate everyone has watched on in as well. Owen Courtney been here all night shouting on Leon Jenkins. We apologise for any names we may have got wrong. We will endeavour to do better, but no promises on that one. And do we have the full results just yet? Putting pressure on production a little bit. Not quite. We'll carry on spitballing. We've got a standby, so we won't be too long now for our full race results. But it's been a cracking night of racing. The drivers do really make it a lot easier to talk about when we've got the action. We've had 4 scintillating races with different themes, different winners. 2 for Griffiths, 2 for Cooper. And so it's been really, really enjoyable for me at least.
Yeah, it's definitely been enjoyable for me watching these guys go around, and we see the podium positions.
So Griffiths winning the race from his Excite teammate McNally with a 5-star car of Jason Cooper just holding on to third place. Less than a tenth of a second, keeping him on the podium just there. Half a second between our top 3. What a night of action we've had. They can probably spray real champagne at this point because no one's got to drive a car afterwards. that was a scintillator. As we head on over now to our full standings, it's confirmation that Tom Griffiths wins from McNally and Cooper. Then Nathan Davies in a strong showing here on his debut in P4. Sam J. Smith 5th, Pullen 6th. Obviously going for the win on the final lap didn't quite pay off for him. James Neve in 7th with Lars Fisher up to P8. Strong recovery from him. He actually caught up to the lead pack there here on the final race. And Andy McEwen in 9th with Craig McDonald round out 10th and round out the podium in Pro-Am as well. As we head over to P11, confirmation Leon Jenkins winning in AM. Just waiting for confirmation on my screen. There we are, Leon Jenkins in P11. I've had an app from production. I don't think he was listening to me. Can't blame him for that one. Liam Silkston in P12 with Clibbons 13th, Sansom in P14th, and then Kip Stevens in P15. Douglas Stewart P16, and then Fiona Siddons 3rd place in AM, 17th overall on the road, with Chris Dixon in P18, and then Lewis Benny, again, his first full evening of racing, I believe, in P19. Unfortunately, more tech issues for Ben Sharp, keep him down in P20. Then you've got Adam Delmont in P21, and he did set the fastest lap of the race. In fact, fastest lap of the evening with a 43.4, so he'll get a bonus point for that at least. And Glenn Humston in P22 with Jamie Gulliford 23rd, Julian Schroer in 24th, and then Craig Schill running out our field in race 4, finishing 9 laps down in P25. So we've got a couple of interviewees coming on up, Tyler, so maybe start thinking of some questions to ask our drivers. Hopefully you guys can't hear my fan. I've just turned it up actually a little bit in the background. But no, what a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful night of racing we've had. And I can't wait. I can't wait for the TCRs here on Thursday night. And I can't wait to see how these final 2 rounds of the season go in terms of championship points. We'll bring you the full championship points at the start of the broadcast next Tuesday. That's a promise from me to you. Obviously, we'll wait and see. In fact, I have live points on the spreadsheet. I don't know if we've got a graphic for it, but I'll talk you through it anyway, folks. As I'm looking on over to the BSR standings. So, our new championship points leader after meeting number 8 is Tom Griffiths, leading the way by 30 points. In fact, we've got a graphic. Excellent. There we are. We are a professional broadcast company after all. Tom Griffiths leading the way by 30 points over Andy McEwen. Ouch, that was production really shouting at me. Adam Delmont in P3 with Jason Cooper in P4. So very, very tight. Our top 4 drivers in the championship all separated by less than 100 points. There is so much left to play for. We'll see how that looks with some drop standings as well. I'm not sure how many drop weeks are included on that. We've got James Neve in 5th and Nick Clibbons 6th. Then it's McNally, Smith, Fisher and Sill round out our top 10. We'll have a quick look just down the rest of the runnings, just see who's leading Pro-Am and who's leading Am. Now, I think we've got an interview lined up. Gulliford's still leading our Pro-Am standings. He's in P11. And then we've got Leon Jenkins leading Am in P13 as well. And you've got Luke Pullen in 3rd place currently in Pro-Ams in P15. We're going to head back to the studio, though, because we have, in for an interview, I believe, Adam Delmont.
Good evening.
Hello, good evening. Well, we can hear you. Can you hear us? That's the first challenge.
Yeah, I can. Yes, finally got in for one.
Excellent. Good to see you, Adam. Obviously, we saw Alton Park was contentious potentially for you, and then it's just not really popped for you here tonight at Donington Park. Talk us through your evening. I think you had a best finish of P21, so not the best. Tell us what happened.
No, it's tactical. It's a tactical decision. Last week, obviously, race 4. I had a bit of a senior moment, what you'd say. I was collected in the crash on the back straight, damaging the car. So I thought, I had it in my head for some reason. I had a fast repair, and I thought if I take the shortcut, I'll be way ahead of everybody else and I can just crawl around to the pit lane. But as I was doing it, I was trying to change the black box on my fueling and tyres. And obviously there was a lot of chatter going off in Discord as well. And do you know when you just get a little bit I put it this way, I was speechless with myself for 2 hours afterwards after doing that, because I'd pulled onto the track for thinking that I had portions of time, and I just saw a flash of colour in the mirror, and I tried to just dive out the way, and obviously it was too late, and yeah, it wasn't my finest moment, I must admit. Complete and utter senior moment. So tonight, I obviously got quite heavily penalised last week with a quali ban and a pit lane start, and what I don't want to do is carry points into the final. So the main thing of tonight was I've still got a drop round that I can use, because obviously you can't drop around with a penalty on it. So stay at the back, stay out of trouble, no chance of hitting anybody, and no chance of getting involved in any drama. So yeah, technically I've dropped out of the championship lead as it stands, but when you look at the drop round change because of tonight, I've just gained an extra 348 points. So it was tactical. It was use the commitment to have a clean round as a drop round and get rid of some of the last week's points from that stupid mistake that I made in race 4.
Excellent. Wow. So I did not realise that was the tactics in place. I'm really glad we've actually got to speak to you here after race 4. And I mean, a 348 point swing is huge. But you've dropped out the championship lead, but not by a lot. It's certainly 51 points now. You're behind Tom Griffiths. And obviously we'll see how that shakes out with all the points involved as such. But it's so tight at the front. Would you consider yourself, now that you've served your penalties, you've got your nose back to being clean, would you consider yourself the favourite for the championship show so far, being that you've led so far, or would you look at Jason's pace and think maybe he's got the edge?
To be honest, there's a number of drivers that are all literally, any one of us could win the championship this season, I think. Andy, Tom, Jason, Nick, and I think, is it James, Neve aren't too far behind in the points either, and drop scores change points massively. They haven't come in yet. They don't come into the last 2 rounds. So they should actually be in place for next week. But I've seen drop rounds completely change up a championship order, once that's come into account. So I think it's going to be close. It's going to be tight. It's going to be a hard fight right to the end, I think. So I've got tonight out of the way. Next week and last week will be normal business and try to push through to the front as much as possible. But, trying to keep it clean as well, because pens have really not done me any favours this season.
Excellent. Anything from you, Tyler, for Adam?
How about the next 2 rounds? Are you looking forward to Silverstone and Brands Hatch? I've been sort of wondering if those will be in your favour.
I'll put the laps in, and yeah, I mean the 2 pretty strong tracks, so I'm happy with my pace. I mean, I think I did claim a couple of fastest laps tonight. I felt good with my pace tonight. It was a shame I had to tactically use it as a clean round, to be honest, because I did have a lot of pace last night in practice, and I've had a lot of pace tonight. But it is what it is. Yeah, I'm feeling good. I'll give it my all, and to be quite honest, the lads that I'm battling with, I respect all of them enough to, whoever wins it, fair play, because it has been a hard fight, and we're all good enough to win it. So it'll just come down to the best man on the day, I think, and whoever it is, it'll be well deserved. I think especially this season, it's so close this season.
Yeah, and you've all had different strengths and different weaknesses, be it the raw pace of Jason, or be it the fact that you and Tom seem to do very well, especially early races of an evening. You always seem to be there and thereabouts. Then Andy, he doesn't always have the same pace as you guys, maybe in each and every race, but somehow most races he seems to somehow end up in the top 5. So you've all got your different strengths and qualities, and yeah, I agree with you completely. Whoever does finish top of the pile here will most certainly deserve it. Obviously, Jason Cooper with his defending number 1 there as well. I think I'm hearing beeps in my ear, so I think we might have our second interview of the evening all lined up. I've lost production. Oh, that was Tyler. Sorry, we were losing. in Discord just there. But no, is there anyone you'd like to give a shout out to? Is anyone like to say thanks to Adam before we move on?
Yeah, obviously the admin, the guys that run the series, without them there wouldn't be one for us all to race on. You guys for the broadcasts, I always do look forward to watching them back after. The team, the lads, they're all driving really well. And pretty much all front lot, all the contenders were going into the last 2 rounds, crack on and just carry on, finish strong, and I'm sure it's going to be an enticing last 2 rounds, put it that way.
It'd be boring if you were winning by 500 points, eh?
Yeah, exactly. Who wants to do it easier? You've got to do it the hard way.
Well, hopefully you've got the pain out of the way, and we look forward to see how you get on in meeting 9 and 10 of the evening. So, yeah, fingers crossed for you. We'll be looking forward to call it. We'll be trying to stay as impartial as possible as well. And, yeah, really looking forward to seeing how you get on. So, yeah, best of luck from us, Adam.
No worries. Take care, guys. Thank you very much.
Cheers. Thank you very much. So, that was Adam Delmont joining us. Reasons behind. So, we've watched his results all evening for... That's peculiar. He's not been on the pace. He's not been lead laps and such. And that's the reasoning why. So tactical for his drop points and to clear his licence points for penalties. So he'll have a clean run at the final 2 rounds of the championship. So glad we spoke to him and got that insight. I'm not sure. Have we got any more interviews lined on up? We do have another interviewee lined on up. I'm not sure who's coming in next. It's a lucky dip. I'm getting a standby and... I'm still getting a standby, and I think we've got Fiona Siddons just about to join us here. The driver for issue. There we are. I can hear myself.
That's something you never want.
Hi, guys.
Ooh, music.
Ooh, music.
There we are. We'll just wait for Fiona to sort audio out. Is that really what I sound like?
I will just point out whilst I can hear myself in duplicate.
We've got
Ennio Fungus, who is Tyler, who does our graphics.
That's actually his t-shirt. On broadcast, and you can head over to e1.gt merchandise just there. That's a cheeky plug. You can also buy energy drinks from Energy as well. Add some balance. Fiona, is there anything
you can do with your audio? I can hear myself twice.
I'm not sure why you were in what. I turned everything down apart from the phone.
Maybe if you've got the stream
playing in the background. Thank you very much.
Can mute us for a moment.
It is muted on the stream.
Okay.
No,
I can definitely hear
myself twice.
How's that going to bring it that side?
There we go. Ooh. Still that a little bit. Very quickly, let's power on through. Apologies for the guys here. But Fiona, talk us through your evening.
It's been pretty good, I think. In the top 15 or 16 most of the night. There's a couple of races, made silly mistakes. One going on to Wheatcroft Straight and one at the old hairpin in race 4, which sort of compromised my race, really.
Yeah, it's a shame to hear that.
Thank you for having this over Wheatcroft Straight.
Because I'd forgotten that all
night.
But no, that shirt looks fantastic. I didn't know we had that, so it was a surprise for me.
Yeah, I thought I'd come in and show it off on stream so people can see them. It turned out brilliant.
Excellent.
I've not seen, because I know
your son only watches it, doesn't he? I've not seen the YouTube last night. Is there anyone you'd like to shout out to?
Yeah, just everybody in the team. My son, if he's watching, and you guys for putting on a great stream again for us.
No, thank you very much. We'll let you go because the audio is a touch compromised, but thank you very much for hopping on in, Fiona.
Okay, catch you later, guys.
Christ, do I really sound like that on stream, folks? But no, all joking aside, you didn't have to hear yourself, Tyler. You got away with it. But no,
That's why I didn't talk.
Thank you very much for tuning on in. Obviously, this has been round 8 of the BSR MX5. I can't believe when I was asked to broadcast 8 weeks ago that we're already most of the way through the series. There's Andy Siddons. He was here in chat all along, so good to see you. I've missed you. I've not seen you. But just before we do shoot on off, I think we've got Driver of the Week, Tyler, so talk us on through.
So Driver of the Week is no surprise here. It is Jason Cooper, and you can see right beside him is Tom Griffiths. So it's been very close between the two as they have gotten both wins, but it's been consistently getting the top points from Jason Cooper. And you can see on the third, right beside those two is Sam Smith with 320 points. So it's been quite a great evening for all three of these pro drivers. So we'll be seeing how well they've been doing for the rest of the season so far for the championship. But we'll see how they'll do with that.
Yeah, and in fact, we've got a bit of a closer look actually at Tom Griffiths' standings. So we can see he's now moved up 2 spots in the championship standings. He's now leading the way, 2,172 points, 32 starts, 6 wins. So not the winningest of drivers so far this season. It's at 15 podiums, almost a 50% podium conversion rate. An average finish of P6, only 2 DNFs. You've got to think, 2 DNFs, you think, oh, that's a reasonable number. These guys have done 4 races a night for 8 rounds now. So that's 32 races they've taken part in, only 8 to go here in BSR. And you've got to look all the way back to race 1 at Brands Hatch Indy for Tom to last DNF. So again, really strong showing, strong recovery there for him as well. He was a little unlucky looking at the stats for Knockhill the week that I missed, but a strong showing tonight. The 2 wins at 4th and a 9th have catapulted him up to the lead of the championship, and he's going to be one to watch out for Team X8. But as we head on back to the studio, I've been Rhys Saunders. I've been joined by the ever fantastic super sub Tyler Manning, who's probably done more broadcasts actually than the main commentators in the past couple of weeks. So I don't even think we can call him super sub anymore. He's probably the bread and butter of the series at this point. But it's been an absolute pleasure to have you all with us. It's been a pleasure to call this evening's racing and see us back here, same place, same time, 8 p.m. on Thursday night for the BSR TCR series. Once again, Donington Park Grand Prix, and we'll be over to Silverstone next week for the BSR MX5s. But that's all from me. We'll see you next time.